The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
Wow.
Big day.
October.
I know, right? We made it to spooky season.
Welcome back, everyone. Spooky season is here.
Well, guys, now that it's officially October, we have spooky season right around the corner.
Yeah, I watched Hocus Pocus last night. I am all in.
It's officially spooky season, so why not go to hell? Hell, Michigan.
It's October, and that marks the beginning of spooky season. It's spooky season.
We are entering spooky season.
For many, the beginning of October is also the start of spooky season.
It's showtime, baby.
All right, you dirty bastards. You ugly sumbitches. It's great to be back. Welcome to our radio show, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Look at you.
Look at us?
Just look at you.
Look at you. You look different.
Do I look a little bit different?
Yeah.
Is everyone okay? Anyone lose any limbs while we were away from work? Or everyone's okay?
All safe, yeah.
Everyone still wants to work here?
Yep.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I banged my head pretty good yesterday.
What'd you do?
Oh, sorry.
I was cleaning out the garage.
Oh.
Friday's the first day I actually felt 100%.
Oh, dude.
After COVID tried to kill me for round 3.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, Josh.
And I stood up.
That COVID tried to kill you again. I'm glad to hear that.
That's not very nice of you
I'm
to
joking, of course. I'm glad that you're back and ready to roll.
I was glad to be back, but things have taken a turn for the south. And I didn't realize my wife had opened a cupboard door.
Oh.
And I stood up, and boy, did that smarts. That hurt quite a bit.
I do that always with the seasoning pantry that we have. I'll leave it open because I'll be like, I'll just put it back up there quick. 5 minutes later, wham!
I've never heard it referred to as a seasoning pantry.
I know.
I wish I had that much storage.
Bougie SOB, you.
I got so many seasonings, it's ridiculous.
Did it leave a mark on your little noggin, Josh?
I don't know. It felt like it took a chunk
Oh,
out.
Jesus. Yeah, you
can see it?
Oh, no, that's a zit.
Oh, is it? Just to the left of that.
Yeah, it looks like, honestly, it looks like you have a dent in your head.
Yeah, that hurt. It was a bad
Christ,
one.
don't clean.
Right into the corner.
Cleaning out the garage, he says.
That kind of thing can lead to a divorce if I was more hot-headed.
Oh, yeah.
You got to let somebody know you opened up the cupboard door when they're bending over.
Especially if you're in the seasoning pantry.
Did you see stars?
Oh, absolutely. I hit that thing hard.
Did you drop down a reading level or two?
Probably.
Well, I'm glad
I know I forgot a lot of stuff. You guys have to remind me what was going on. My memory shot.
Man, somebody brushes with danger for you lately. I don't like the sound of it. So here's the deal. I am glad you're back to 100%. Cubby, after another battle with that godforsaken COVID, you can't catch a friggin' break.
No, I've never in my life. I never get sick. I mean, I have epilepsy. Outside of that, I never got sick until just the last couple of years. Whatever Ashley had, you transferred it to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Where you
It's
used to
your
be
problem
sick
now.
on a weekly basis. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
She's always got something going on. Yeah, we took a few days off last week. And not that I ever feel the need to explain our days off. That's our damn business. For some reason, there are people out there who get seriously butthurt when we take time away. But since I was the reason we took time away, this is kind of funny, by the way. I just got a text message from OG's Jesus. And he says, this came in a few minutes ago before we cracked the mics. So what's the big news? Y'all moved to iHeart? I don't understand the second part of that.
Like we work for a different company?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, we don't.
So what's the big news? OG's Jesus texted to me a few minutes ago. And I wrote back because I said, big news with question marks? And he said, yeah, you guys said today you'll explain why you were off last week. And I wrote back, oh, yeah, Wapple died.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Wapple,
Yeah.
you look
Rest in
good
peace,
for a
Wapple.
dead guy.
No, it's Wapple 2.0. Wapple 1 sucks.
Well,
I
the
just
previous
wanted-
Friday was my fault, or more specifically, the 2020 election's fault because of COVID. But the last Friday, that was completely different. I guess I should say Wednesday through Friday was a little different.
Yeah. Sorry if I scared you there, oh, geez, Jesus. But I love that bit. I love that bit.
You have killed a lot of people. Celebrities, co-workers.
Yeah. I was the reason why we took time away. So I feel I should explain why. The reason we took that time off was because I went ahead and got married.
Huh?
Do we have to refer to you as Mr. Bourne?
I suppose.
Are you an honest man now? Did someone make an honest man out of you?
Boy, good question. I haven't thought about that. Do I need to...
You got to be monogamous. I mean, that's part of being married.
I'm sorry, how did you say that?
Monogamous. Monogamous.
Sounded up for him.
Bananamous, he says.
Mononymous.
Am I an honest man? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, last Tuesday, I got hitched for the second time in my life. And then the three of us headed out of town to celebrate.
Oh, my God.
Headed out of town.
So did you just go to the courthouse, I imagine?
No, we went to like a little scenic spot. You know how I'm a Wayzata guy. It's the greatest town in the entire state of Minnesota. Wayzata, Minnesota. There's no place finer in this state, maybe even in America. And I spend a lot of time in the summer on Lake Minnetonka. So we found a little spot looking over the lake, and I showed up. And then my bride showed up. And then some kind of an officiant. Is that the word, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of an officiant. Old Cubby was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be my witness. You need You need two witnesses. Now, wait a minute, Ashley. Why are you wondering about all these details? Are you ready to take another...
you got something to tell us?
No. I'm just curious.
Do we need to take some time off?
Are we going to be on this entire week, or are you going to go and get married again? And then we needed a... So Josh was sick. He was my choice as my witness because we're the best friends in the whole world. But he was sick. So I had to call in a backup, my stupid brother.
Oh.
And then my new wife had a witness, and it was a bip-bop-biddity-doo. Do you? Yes, I do, and that was the end of that.
Well, the big question is, I'm assuming you probably wore a suit. Did the suit and dress shirt have sleeves on it, or did you cut the sleeves off of the suit?
You did not wear a suit.
No suit?
No, hell no, suit. No, but I wore a nice shirt with a collar on it and such, and a pair of pants. I had shoes, didn't I, Josh?
You did, yeah. Look, I had talked to your wife, and I had said I didn't know he owned a pair of shoes, and I believe she said he didn't either.
Yeah. She put together an outfit for me, and that's the way it's going to be from now on. She's going to dress me.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a nice outfit put together.
Well, congrats.
Well, thank you very much. And then that's what we did.
I got a couple annoying texts about it over the weekend. People who like to bait you into giving them information. And I know you weren't really talking about it.
No.
So I had someone text me, and, well, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see the picture. And they left it at that. And I haven't talked to this person in months, right? So I just sent back a picture of me dressed as Legolas from Lord of the Rings. I'm like, well, no, here's proof.
I obviously got married. Here's a picture of me as Legolas.
Well, I didn't mention anything about a marriage. I didn't say anything. He was baiting me into trying to give him information. I'm not falling for that, so I sent him, look, here I am, Legolas. Nice. And I made him work for it.
Let me tell you guys.
And then he had a picture of your wedding.
Who was this guy?
This is, he's passed away. Ross, our former coworker Ross. Now, apparently this is a whole thing. Somebody shared it with somebody at a bar who started sharing it with a bunch of people, I guess.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
The picture of me and this lady that I married? Oh.
Yeah.
I want to see the picture.
I look great. Oh, God help us. And let me tell you something. On a side note, nobody, and you're probably thinking, well, somebody. No, nobody ever portrayed Legolas as purely and as accurately as Josh did at a Halloween party I had way back when I was single.
You
right?
guys, yeah.
When you were Legolas,
I went for it.
And I don't even know who Legolas is.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest.
I didn't.
Orlando Bloom in the movies. Blonde, long blonde.
And what was the movie again?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, right. Oh, dude,
He's
I
the
would
badass
love to
that
see that
shoots
picture.
everyone with the arrows.
Do you remember who I showed up with? At the time, this was popular. What was that?
No, I don't remember who you showed up with.
Ron Burgundy.
I don't remember
that
Ron.
Makes sense.
I mean, by the way, in your intro there, everyone's talking about how now it's the spooky season.
Here we are.
Is that the new way of saying Halloween? Because some people don't like the term.
October is spooky season.
When did that become a thing?
Oh, it's been around.
Yeah, it's been around for a few years
it's not necessarily just referring to Halloween, but just, it's the spooky season.
Okay.
Yep, everyone's in
haunted
the mood.
houses, stuff like that. I tried to go to Onion Head's Revenge last week. That was my big thing I was going to do. It didn't work out, unfortunately.
That's the first time I'd heard that, the spooky season. So it's kind of like saying the holiday season. But anyway, since we are currently in the opening stages of the spooky season, this was a Halloween party I had, I don't know how many years ago, 20 years ago, 15, 20. And Josh showed up with this gorgeous head of long blonde hair, and he's got this warrior outfit. I mean, I wanted to pin you right then and there. It was like some kind of sick fantasy come true for me. And then you told me, well, I'm Legolas from Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or whatever you said. And then I looked it up on the internet. And you were absolutely perfect in that role.
Well,
the dude who played Legolas doesn't look as much like Legolas as Josh did.
You know what's funny about that is I tried to think of a outfit I thought would really annoy you, and it totally backfired on me. I thought, I'm going to show up, and he's going to be like, son of a bitch, what's he doing wearing that? I've done that, a stormtrooper.
It was perfect. So anyway, sorry to go off on that tangent, but when you bring up Legolas, I had to give you a compliment on that again. Yes, Wapple.
What, weren't you a Halo commander too at one point?
No, that'd be sweet though.
Oh, I thought you were.
So anyway, it's been okay so far being married again. I mean, the two of us really, honestly, are still in the early days of just kind of getting to know each other. So I'll let you know if anything changes.
Well, I mean, she just arrived from Russia. You got a lot to pay off.
Right.
You're making payments.
We went out of town, like I said, for a few days, and I can't say that was, my favorite few days ever. So I'll keep you posted on this.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, I didn't have time for a bachelor party. So I thought maybe we'd have my bachelor party when we go to that casino in Wisconsin in a couple of weeks.
That's a great idea.
That is a fantastic idea.
So we have to change the rules now for our trip. Our Rock the River. No, we did that already. What are we calling this one?
The Border Bash.
The Border Bash. We have to change the rules for the Border Bash now. No women are allowed unless you're a sex worker.
I thought that was already the rule.
Oh, Jesus.
It's funny, there's mixed emotions via text here. Checking text.
A lot of people think it's a joke.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to look at the text messages. They go by so fast. What are they saying? They think I'm joking?
Yeah, well, I would say 70% think you're joking.
Yeah?
Of the remaining 25% are dudes that are heartbroken. Meaning wait, you were one of the last holdouts. And then 5% congratulations.
I mean, one of the greatest players in the history of Hennepin County. Me. I've taken myself out the game.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent.
Wait, you can't say to a certain extent.
Well, is this back to this monogamous thing that you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, you understood the idea of what getting married is, right?
Well, I understood that we were going to get a few days off. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's more than just vacation.
Oh.
I mean, you knew it was more than a tax break, correct?
Okay, yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Where are you going
so
with
now
this?
You commit to the other person, and you're not, well, unless you have an open relationship, and I know your wife well enough to know she's not going to be okay with that. You're not supposed to be with other women, even if that's their profession and you're just trying to help the economy by getting yourself a sex worker.
I'm going to stick with my statement. I'm off the market to a certain extent.
No, you can't do that, though.
I can do what I want to do.
You've been married. You haven't even been married a week.
You weren't there for the ceremony.
I know.
You
it's
have
the 2020 election. It's not my fault.
Did you have that in the vows, Nick?
What?
I'm only married to a certain extent.
Well, I said...
Wait a minute. I'm taking a look at the photo again.
Yeah.
There's the officiant. There's you. There's your wife standing next to each other. She's got a big smile on her face. Why is your right hand behind your back with your fingers crossed?
Looks
you
like
found
your
a
toes are
loophole.
crossed, too.
He found a loophole.
Gotcha. I had my fingers crossed this whole time.
Yeah.
So do we have to call you former player? Not just
No,
player?
it's Mr. Bourne. He's married now.
Okay.
I don't know what you call me. You can call me whatever you want. All I'm saying is I ain't done yet.
You gotta be done.
You say I have to be done.
That's the rule.
Okay.
I mean, you could get annulled pretty quickly here. We should look that up. You got some time. Change your mind.
It's within like 180 days or something.
How do you
like
know that, Ashley?
I love that
120.
Ashley's on top of that.
I got a big window of time to play with. 100? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
you would know.
It's a couple months.
Good Lord. Well, there's really nothing official just yet. Okay, good. Good. Let me tell you one thing I am sure of, Josh. Once I retire from this miserable business of live morning radio, I'm going to go to the North Shore, and I'm never coming back.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
That'd be sweet.
I went on up there, me and these women that I'm involved with now.
Woman, it's singular.
Legally, it's like a legal thing, you're telling me?
It's a little more than that, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you ask her.
Okay. We went on a trip up to Lutzen. Have you heard of it?
Yep, love that area.
Fall color's beautiful now.
Yeah, they're at a 3 to a 5, depending on where you're at.
Trust me, I got a big chunk of that when I was up there.
Yeah, his wife was texting me.
She was driving me nuts.
Was she?
Oh, yeah.
that was funny.
Every stupid yellow tree that we drove by, she texted Josh about it, and she mentioned that she was torturing me with all this.
Yeah, she did. She took a couple pictures of you looking miserable with the talk.
Right.
There's only, I thought, what a perfect pairing. You guys have known each other for a long time. Until she sent one particular text message, and I thought, oh no. What has he done? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, this was fun. This was fun.
She didn't find Iron Maiden appropriate to listen to at a sunset.
Right.
And I tried to reason with her and say, well, I think there is an appropriate Iron Maiden song for any time.
Right.
Doesn't really matter the occasion, doesn't matter the time of day, and she never got back to me on that one.
Oh, wow.
This was great. This was our first night there. We're sitting out on, how do you call it, like a deck? At this, where am I going with this? At this resort we were staying at, which overlooked a big mountain, Sawtooth Mountain, something like that. I don't know. At Lutzen. Some of you who ski, you know what I'm talking about.
Beartooth, great band.
Beartooth, great band?
Yeah, they're a great band.
Oh. Oh. I thought you were naming the mountain.
It did.
But it was called Beartooth Great Band
the way
Mountain.
you said it. Yeah, it sounded like an ancient way of saying it.
Yeah, it does, kind of.
So we're overlooking this mountain, sitting on the deck, got a Steve Weiser cracked, and I just, why wouldn't I? I got out my cellular device and I punched up some Iron Maiden. And I thought it would be perfect for the scenery. And this woman that's currently involved with my life says, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm putting on some friggin' Maiden. And she said, that's not appropriate for this setting. Find something softer, something... And Josh got a picture. So she grabs my phone, she turns it off. And then Josh, I think you got the picture of me sitting. I was furious.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of the end, in my opinion. I had my arms folded in front of me like a 4-year-old, just pissed off now, looking off into the sunset. Because she turned off Maiden.
And you know what? A lot of people are saying, I can't believe this. I can't believe Nick got married. This is the weird part. I had texted Nick about it, And I was like, hey, sorry about the maiden. And he got back to me and said, you know how it goes. Happy wife, happy life.
No.
And I thought, you've changed, man.
Vomit.
There's no way. No way I will ever say that. But,
all caps. He put it in all caps.
The last time I'd been to Grand Marais and whatnot a handful of times when I was a little kid. On our way up to Canada, we used to go fishing up north of Thunder Bay. So I had been in Grand Marais and been up Highway 61 many times, but I was a pretty young kid. You don't pay attention to anything when you're that age, 10, 11, 12. And I had been to Lutsen a couple of times, but only in the winter for stupid skiing. So I'd never really looked around. We hit everywheres you can imagine up that Highway 61, up and down Grand Marais, Lutsen, all around. And maybe I'll be dead tomorrow, but if I make it and I end up retiring from this absolutely awful business that we're involved in, I think you're going to find me twice my size that you see now. Like in 10, 15 years, I'll be twice the size. I think you'll find me wandering around the streets intoxicated in Grand Marais. That is in second. Number one, the greatest town in the state of Minnesota. What is it again, Josh?
Well, you say Wayzata.
It's Wayzata. And number two is Grand Marais. I fell absolutely in love with that friggin' town.
Yeah, I love Grand Marais. I can see living up there.
That's where I want to go.
So
I'll be single. I'll be single by the time. Yes?
Did you get me my rocks?
You know what? No.
Did you see any?
You wanted me to find you some agates or something like
yeah,
that?
they're very, very popular up there.
I have to be honest with you, Ashley. You crossed my mind a couple of times.
That's wonderful.
Standing on the shores, of this part of the lake or that part of the lake. It did cross my mind, but then I just smooth forgot. You wanted me to grab you some shiny agates. You like to collect those things?
Yep. It's understandable.
Yeah, but we're celebrating you, Nick, of course. None of us are having any selfish motivations for when you come back. I love that we're congratulating you for getting married, and Ashley's like, where's my friggin' rock? The only rock was the diamond on his wife's finger.
She has no respect for the industry. What do they call it? The Institute of Marriage.
She has proven that.
You've proven that. And, man, we humped like bunnies. I'll tell you that right now.
I warned you. I told you it might happen, and you told me I don't think so.
You did.
I said she might want to get amorous. She might want to consummate the relationship.
You did. You warned me. There was one moment where I kind of, all I could do was really, I kind of reached up to the ceiling to brace myself, and I said, pretty friendly around here. What movie?
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. That's right. So there you go. That's why we took a few days off.
Dana's got a day off on Thursday.
I do,
This
yeah.
was a surprise to me.
This is hilarious.
It is funny. Does our boss know about this?
Yeah.
He does? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of surprised he approved it. So what you got something big going on, like a family event, or are you volunteering somewhere?
I am volunteering my time to get my hair to regrow.
You vain son of a bitch. Taking
this
a day
is awesome.
off.
Yeah, you've signed up for some kind of hair replacement procedure.
I did, yes.
You're endorsing the product.
I am,
They
yes.
take it from your balls and put it on your head.
Yeah, take it from Wapple's balls and put it on my head.
I bet there's a lot there.
There's a lot to work with down
Guys,
there.
I'm going to have to be off Wednesday. I got a
grooming appointment?
Yeah, I got a grooming appointment for Dana.
Man, what do you shave your balls with if you got to take a whole day off?
You would be surprised.
It's a weed whacker you got to take down to those things.
You know a hedge clipper? Yeah, it's literally like that.
This is hilarious, though.
It is pretty funny.
Dana has signed up for this hair replacement, and I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
But you have to take Thursday. Is it Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
You got to take the whole day off because they got to lay you smooth out in a chair at 6 a.m. and start punching holes in the top of your head.
Yep, they cut it out the back of my head and they put it back on top.
Why couldn't they start at 9:30?
What's that?
Why couldn't they start at 9:30?
That's just the way they do it, I guess.
Can we call you while you're laid out on the table?
Sure.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny.
I wonder if it's going to be painful. Do you know if it's going to hurt?
They give you the option to take some some drugs, a little to kind of knock you out a little bit. But I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not.
Oh, take the drugs.
Oh, yeah.
You'll
always
take
the drugs.
I got next Monday off. I'm having my scrotum steamed.
Oh, wonderful.
Smooth as the day I was born, I was told.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out.
Yeah, me too.
And maybe we can get you on the phone all gooned up on whatever the hell, on pills, painkillers.
Like Valium or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
Whatever they give you for LASIK, that was pretty good.
Yeah, Valium.
Was it?
Yeah.
Is it Valium?
That is pretty good.
Yeah, they say
if I do anything on that.
They say if I take the Valium that I need to get a ride home, so. See how that
You got a girlfriend for that.
Yeah. She's planning on coming to pick me up, I think.
Take it rectally. I recommend.
Do they give you that option?
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily know if they give you the option. Just do it.
Just do it anyway?
Just say I'm not doing it unless if I take it anally.
Hey, I'm paying for this.
What a magical time. Isn't it, Josh?
It really is.
It's the spooky season. I got married a few days ago. And Dana's going to have a brand new hairdo.
Yeah, how long does it take? Do you know? Meaning before you get a
They say
a
you
whole head of hair.
start seeing the results in like 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months. Boy, the baby will be born by then, right, Nick?
Jesus, you know what?
That's another popular text message coming in.
That's the next step, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't have to be if you don't want. I mean, I'd love it if you did.
Godfather.
I'd be honored to be the godfather.
Maybe I should start pumping out babies now.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not? I don't know. I guess I'm kind of old.
You'd make a cute kid.
You think I'd create a nice-looking baby? I don't know.
It'd be cute to see a little baby with a onesie, no sleeves, running around.
I'm just picturing a little baby with Nick's adult-sized head on top of it. Like a little baby body with the Nick's human head on, the huge adult head on top.
That's a hell of a noggin. Yeah, maybe we should start pumping out babies. I don't know.
You know the process?
I guess as long as the kid's okay with me being dead when he's 8. You know, I don't know. Do I know the process?
Yeah, you know how it works?
I believe so.
I could draw a diagram.
I mean, you warned me about honeymoon activities.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
You likely know. Yeah, I don't know. We could have a contest on the air to name it.
That would be fun.
A friend of mine actually, she did that. She had somewhat of, it was like at the time, you know, people weren't necessarily, social media was new. She put out some polls and stuff like that. She got like media coverage over this.
Is that right?
To come up with the baby's name.
And they stuck with it?
Yeah.
What names would you think of? What are the first few names that come to your mind?
God, I don't know.
Do use like a family name, like your Aunt Virginia.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, baby name I always liked a lot ever since I saw House Party. Bilal.
Bilal. How would you spell it?
Yeah.
I think it's Bilal.
All one word?
For those of you who know the show, the movie House Party from 1990, Martin Lawrence's character name was Bilal.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen it.
So I think I'll go with that. If I have a son, I'm going to name it Bilal.
All right.
All right. There you go. Yeah, as long as a kid is cool with me taking a walk at one point or another, we'll see about all that. I mean, Donnie's a good name, of course.
It's classic.
You know too many people named Donnie, though. That would get confusing.
Well, yeah, but I could tell all of my friends Donnie the baby was named after them. And they would consider it an honor.
Yeah, they'd be all super excited. You had a daughter, you can name her Missy.
Missy and
you can
Donnie.
do the same thing.
I don't know. We'll see about all that. It's a great day. We're happy to be back. We got Dr. P coming in later.
Yeah.
We do.
Dr. P. Jesus. Well, we haven't talked to Randy and the other guy. What the hell? Brad Ruiter in a long time. So we'll get things cooking here in a minute. We'll be back. Thank you for listening to the Half-Ass Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, we'll get to that stupid news in a minute. Well, we were talking a few minutes ago about how I upped and got married last week. I did. It's a beautiful, magical, wonderful thing. This is the feeling I've been looking for, Josh.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm so in love. I'm so in love.
I'm very happy for you.
You know, life is a journey.
Stop.
And
you got to find your own path, guys.
Mm-hmm. Got a couple of text messages. Oh, a local legend, former wrestling referee Rob Page. He says, now that I'm off the market, he's going to take my place and just crush all that local ass.
It's a tough job, but if anybody's up for the task, it's referee Rob Page.
I just heard a big sigh of relief from all the women in the listening audience.
Oh.
Thank God we've got a backup plan.
And then we talked about the idea of me reproducing, making babies. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But Trash Trucker Jesus, for a brief second we talked about, what would I name a kid if I made one? Trash Trucker Jesus ruined my effing morning.
Why?
He texted in and said he knows what to name my baby. You name it Baby McBabyface.
Totally.
God, I hate that bit. But anyway, thanks for the congratulations that folks have been sending in. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and another one from us. That is wonderful.
Well, there you go. All right. The stupid, stinking news. We'll get you started here with a crazy person from New Jersey who went down to Florida, dead set on crashing into things in his motor vehicle, and by God, he did. John Hargreaves is the name he goes with. Let me give you the rundown on his activities down there in Florida. First, around 6 o'clock the other night, he went ahead and crashed his Toyota SUV into somebody's house. Boom, there he goes, banging somebody's house out with his Toyota. The cops later said that this was a, quote, attempt to scare or harass the homeowner. And he did. He did.
Yeah, that'd work on me.
Then this dill-dong, he drove over to the local police station and bombed his vehicle straight through that building.
That's a tough car.
He then got out of what was left of his car and started rocking out to the old Guns N' Roses hit single, Welcome to the Jungle, which was blasted on his radio.
Of course he did.
You need a good soundtrack for destruction. Maybe he had a appetite for it.
Nice.
I understand.
So if you think you like to rock, think again. This guy's got all of us beat. For crashing into the house I was telling you about, well, I feel like I'm missing a massive chunk of the story here. Oh, yeah, I was almost ready to wrap up the story, but I had it stapled together incorrectly, Josh.
Whoopsies.
You see how you are?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was rocking out to Welcome to the Jungle. There are much better songs on that record to crash your car to. Rocket Queen and Night Train, I think, would be the two best. Then I'd probably go Out to Get Me. Welcome to the Jungle will be one of my last picks if I were to go out crashing my car while listening to the Appetite for Destruction record.
Mr. Brownstone's your favorite song.
I hate that effing song.
You love it.
From the get-go. Mr. Brownstone has sucked from the first second they put it on.
That was your first dance at your wedding over the week. You loved that song.
But it sounded like this guy, he wasn't playing the record. He was at the mercy of his local radio station, like you people are right now. It sucks, doesn't it? For crashing into the house I was telling you about, Old 80s rock lover Hargreaves was charged with burglary, criminal mischief, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, and harassment. Harassment is how you say it. For crashing into the police station, he was charged with terrorism, causing widespread injury or damage, aggravated assault, burglary, criminal mischief, and possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose.
Whoa.
He's now being held at a local county jail. You know where you are? You're in the local county jail. Wake up. Time to die. Remember that old song, Welcome to the Jungle, Josh, by Guns N' Roses?
I watched a few football games on Sunday. I heard it.
It's a true story, by the way, that William Bailey, otherwise known as W. Axl Rose, it's a true story. When he moved from, I think it was Indiana to Los Angeles, I think the first night he spent, to be a rock star, the first night he spent in Los Angeles, he slept on a park bench. And when he woke up in the morning, his eyes opened up and he didn't quite know. And some guy walking down the street said, "You know where you are? You're in the jungle, bitch. Wake up. Time to die." I love that story.
That is interesting how some of that stuff comes to be.
It's so scary.
Do you think that guy got a co-writing credit on the album?
I bet they didn't do anything for him.
Yeah, I bet they did.
He'd be tough to find.
Yeah.
Where do you send the residual checks?
Yeah. Just go leave a stack of cash near the bench every couple months.
Yeah.
Cheating on a significant other. That was one of my favorite pastimes over the years.
You're all done with that now. You're all done with that now.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, everybody does it, especially dudes.
Not everybody does it.
Yeah, I have it.
And not especially dudes.
Ladies, if you're listening right now, you might be saying, well, not my man. Yes, your man too.
Not necessarily.
Even as straight-laced and goody damn two-shoes as Wapple and Cubby portray themselves to be, they've got a big fat side piece waiting on them somewhere.
I do not.
Yeah, definitely don't.
I can only handle one.
Now, when it comes to that side action, there's a variety of different types of characters you can find out there to cheat with. I'm not going to cover all the different types. You know, it ranges from, there's a wide range of characters. There's the people who are also in a relationship, so, you know, they're very, very careful. All the way down to the ones whose ultimate goal is to win you away from your current significant other. And if they can't accomplish that, then they'll do everything in their power to destroy your life for you.
Oh.
It's all
You're
different
a life
types.
destroyer.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how you know you have the ultimate side piece? When you fake your own death or kidnapping in order to be with them. What they give you is so damned incredible, you do absolutely ridiculous things like faking your own death or kidnapping.
That's the brave way to go about it.
I guess maybe that could be easier in some cases than divorce.
Speaking from experience.
Well, see, I had a very easy divorce, and my next one will likely also be very, very easy.
Yeah, mine was very easy as well, but I remember we were talking about it maybe like a couple months ago, and people were texting in about how their divorce has lasted 7-8 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about it not that long ago. I know a gal who, I don't know, I think she's been separated from her effing husband for 12 years, but can't seem to get that divorce. Dana had an easy divorce. It depends on who you are. I can't imagine any divorce would be more difficult than faking your own death or kidnapping.
Sure, that's got to be pretty hard.
I mean, yeah, waiting around and battling back and forth for 12 years. I'm not saying that's a cakewalk, but at any rate, here in the stupid news, we got a dude who narrowly avoided jail time after he faked his own kidnapping so that he could spend New Year's Eve with his sex worker side ass instead of his girlfriend. This maniac effing dude, what's the name? Paul Ayera. He's 36 years old, from a place called, Josh, he's from Wollongong, New South Wales. Did you make that up?
No. That would suck to write that out. I know people don't really send correspondence via the mail very often, but that would suck to write that out every Christmas.
He's from Wollongong.
Greetings from Wollongong.
He went to Wollongong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's your mind?
Yeah, on dongs.
Per usual.
Yeah.
He went to court over all this nonsense. I'm going to try to get through this for you. He ended up with 350 hours of community service for putting together this hoax. This was last New Year's Eve. So the story says that Mr. Ayera left his house just before 11:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve. He told his girlfriend that he was headed out to meet his financial guy.
Okay.
A totally reasonable activity at 1:45 on New Year's Eve. A few hours later, his girlfriend got a text message from his side action claiming that he had been kidnapped. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this. I don't think the girlfriend knew who was texting her.
Yeah, good guess.
What's that?
Yeah, good guess. I would think so, too. So just some random numbers like, hey, your dude's dead.
That's what I think it was. Not dead, but kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The message said, "Thank you for sending Paul to me. Now payback is a bitch. Bye-bye." The text went on to say, "I'm going to be fair about this. We will keep him with us until the morning when he gives us his bike. We'll call it square then. We won't touch him. I give you my word. Okay, hun?" Ayera's girlfriend called the cops, who started checking surveillance footage and such to find this Ayera prick. Ayera called his dad the next day and told the old man that he had been kidnapped the night before, but he was okay. He said his kidnappers were dropping him back at his van soon. So the cops carried out a high-risk vehicle stop on Ayera's van, believing he was being held hostage inside, but they only found his dumbass inside the vehicle. He told the cops he was captured by, quote, unknown Middle Eastern males hired by his side piece to get him to turn over his bike. Now, a dirt bike is, I believe, what they're talking about here. Like a big old Travis Pastrana 250 type of it, not a bicycle. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening here. Maybe a decent dirt bike is like gold over there in Australia or Wollongong or wherever the hell they are. So Ayera's girlfriend believed he was being held hostage over his dirt bike. The story falls apart. 2 weeks later, police found security footage showing he had been with his sex worker side woman that night. He wasn't abducted by Middle Eastern men. It had nothing to do with his stupid dirt bike. He was with his sex worker, banging her brains out. The judge who ruled on this massive waste of time was disgusted by the whole story. The judge said, "You chose to send alarming, frightening messages to your partner so you could get some extra time with another woman." So in addition to the 350 hours of community service, that's a lot of raking beaches right there, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, he's ordered to pay $10,000 to the local cops for all the hell they went through.
I'd love to know if she charges him, this sex worker, because that would be an interesting way into his psyche. For example, I couldn't call a stripper my side piece if I'm going there paying for lap dances, right?
That's very
it's
true,
the same
Josh.
thing with the prostitute.
Yes.
I got this girl on the side. If he's paying her, that's not a girl on the side.
When it was all over, Dinkus's lawyer, Mr. Ayera's lawyer is how you say it, he said that they are both pleased to have avoided jail. And check out this final message from his lawyer. He said, "Mr. Ayera continues to enjoy the support of his family and girlfriend." So she stayed with him and wishes to move forward with life as a productive member of the community. His girlfriend stuck with him, or at least according to the lawyer.
Man, I wouldn't have expected that.
No.
Jesus balls. At 1:45 on New Year's Eve, he says, "Hey, baby, I'm going to duck out for a little while. I'm going to go see my financial advisor." And she said, Okay.
Sounds good.
It's like a lady whopple.
That's true.
Hey, I can tell you anything, couldn't I? Yeah. Why? Because you love me? Yeah.
Richard beating Jesus thinks you've changed since you got married, Nick.
What did I do now?
He said Nick gets married, and all of a sudden, he's telling every GD woman our man secrets. Time to take his man card.
What man secrets did I tell?
You sold out every man in the listening audience saying they're all cheating.
Oh!
A few people, so a few guys might be having some rough days today.
Oh, but I was saying that weeks ago when I was single. I've always said that we're nothing but dirty dogs looking for our next piece.
It's true.
But you didn't, I don't know if you've ever said every guy is cheating.
I have. Oh, yeah, because we all do.
No, we don't. Explain it to Richard beating Jesus.
Like you don't, like, so Josh, you're saying you don't have side action going on right now.
I don't.
Oh, because you're paying for it. That's how you knew.
Bingo. Why do you think, Dana, I always have to hit you up for the snack machine?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I had to give Josh 50 cents to make sure he had enough money for a Mountain Dew the other day.
Yeah. All my money's going to, what's a popular stripper name nowadays? Anna, somebody from Frozen.
Yeah. What was the Frozen?
The other one. Who's the other one?
What was
Elsa? Yeah.
Elsa, yeah. All my money's going to Elsa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorite time periods. For about a 5-year stretch, every other stripper in town was either named Elsa or what's the dragon
Daenerys.
queen? Well, it wasn't Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, yeah.
Yes.
Khaleesi. Well, her real name Daenerys.
Right. Every other stripper was Elsa or Khaleesi. All right, more scandalous behavior in the stupid news.
Oh, sorry. I had the wrong one.
It happened.
That's my fault. Way to go, Dana.
It's on me, Coach.
I guess all I'm saying here is that if I was a married airline pilot and I stayed up all night drinking and snorting cocaine off of the areolas of strange women, and then the next morning I was supposed to steer one of those airplanes full of people across the sky all effed up from all that booze and coke and all those areolas, if that was what I was up to, the last thing I'd ever do is text someone and tell them about it. That's how a player loses his job right there. This here next stupid news story says that a married British Airways pilot by the name of Mike Beaton, he went mental with the booger sugar and the women and the booze while partying in South Africa, and then he tried to fly all the way back to London. You know, he's the one who drives that stupid thing.
Yeah.
Beaton, who's only going to be beating his meat for a while, by God. I'll tell you that right now, Cubby.
He's in some trouble.
He had a night off for, quote, downtime in South Africa. He spent the night drinking hooch and doing drugs with some random gals, and then he effing bragged about it to one of his flight attendant gal pals. He told her, "I've been a very naughty boy."
Ugh.
Gross.
It's a weird way to phrase that.
So weird.
So then when he tried to fly the airplane the following day, this crew member pal reported what he had been up to the night before. The flight got canceled. That cost British Airways around $120,000 to cancel that flight. He was suspended. They flew him home as a passenger the following day. He was drug tested at the airport. He failed, and he was fired.
Yeah, I'd probably have to snitch if I was that crew member too.
Well, yeah, you don't want to die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not telling on somebody just for his activity, but yeah, he's the guy in charge of your life for the next however long.
I explain. That's not the word. I understand why this woman told somebody. Jesus, yeah, I don't want to end up like those folks in that Denzel Washington movie, flying upside down and crashing into the.
Such a good movie.
I'm surprised he told her. I mean, was he thinking like, oh yeah, she's gonna think this is funny?
Yeah.
No, what?
I know guys like that.
Yeah,
they can't help it.
Ew.
She thought she would be really impressed by how cool he was.
Every sexual conquest, every illicit deed, they of course tell all their bros, and there's a select group of women that they also tell because, like Dana said, they think the women are going to say, "Ooh, a bad boy,"
or in his case, a naughty boy.
Oh.
So in his text message, to this flight attendant friend. He mentioned the booze, the topless whores, the cocaine. He mentioned shoes. The folks who run that British Airways, they're pretty pissed. And they say he will never fly again. And I wonder what his wife has to say about all this. Oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
Yeah, he might be sleeping on the couch for a very long time. Some of those airline pilots like to party. I mentioned before a girl I dated when she was in her 20s found out her dad had a whole separate family in wherever he was stationed out of.
Wow.
As a pilot. Whole separate family, guys.
Sounds exhausting.
Who was the first one?
Boy, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
She was the first one.
That matters.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd feel better.
So,
if I remember right, she was. But not by long.
Ooh. This lady that you know, she's the product of this guy's first family.
Yeah.
And then shortly thereafter, he went off and made another one, another family.
That's right. I was curious because I'd never seen this before at the time. The mom and dad slept in separate rooms. So I just actually on the opposite side of the house. And I had asked her about it, and then she explained. I was like, oh boy, I could see what's going on.
Yeah.
And, back to these folks who can't keep their yap shut. They have to tell everyone about this is how drunk and this is how hard I partied. They just can't help it. A warning for you younger dudes and ladies, I guess. That friend who's the most adamant, like when a group of you go out of town to raise hell, that friend who's most adamant about hey, what happens here stays here. No one say a word. They're usually the one who will sell everybody out when you get home.
Totally agree.
Everybody.
Bogus.
I tell you what, I trusted these sons of bitches. I did. Because they were the first one to stand up at the cabin or in Vegas or whatever and say, hey, boys, rule number 1, we don't talk about what we... 2 days later, guess whose phone is ringing? You guys did what? Don't listen to those guys. The ones who stay quiet about it, they understand. They already understand the rules.
It doesn't have to be said.
Right.
That's a good point. You're right. Doesn't have to be said. They already know. And it's also the same guy, or maybe not the same guy, but the guy who decides to say, listen, we're not doing any of the strippers. We're not going to any clubs. That's the guy with the tie around his head at the end of the night, leading the charge into Rick's Cabaret.
Right. Uh-huh. All right. What kind of time am I looking at? All right. This one's for all my mates listening up there in Canada. The Royal Canadian Air Force is investigating an inappropriate and unapproved call sign that was transmitted from one of its aircrafts. Oh, no. Did someone change their code name to Clown Penis?
Clown Penis.
What? It's not a code name again. What is it?
Call sign.
Call sign.
There you go.
Okay. So an unapproved... I just said it out loud. I couldn't remember it. An unapproved call sign was transmitted out of one of the airplanes in the Royal Canadian Air Force. So here's the deal. I hope I can deliver this properly. Call signs contain 4 letters and 2 numbers in the Royal Canadian Air Force. They are assigned to pilots and usually remain unchanged, but last week it appears one was tweaked when a CF-18 Hornet on a flight in the United Kingdom was broadcast globally is how you say it. They broadcast their call sign as Dick 69.
Dana, when'd you get your wings?
Yeah.
That's equal parts funny and also really stupid.
I agree.
So dude went
Mixed
by
emotions.
Dick 69.
Should have mixed in a 420 too to really seal the deal.
Not enough.
A spokesperson.
They had to condense it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Mm-hmm.
A spokesperson from the Royal Canadian Air Force said they are aware of this inappropriate nonsense. It's under investigation. Twitter got a hold of this story, and everybody wet their pants because the dude said his name was Dick 69.
I wish I didn't find that as funny as I do.
Yeah, I find myself in a lot of those situations, Dana.
Yeah.
Where I wish I was more mature because it's so stupid.
Uh-huh. You just can't resist.
What else is going on here? Oh, no, someone got a wedgie. Josh, did the cool kids dump a few wedgies on you back in the day?
Not just the cool kids, Nick.
Oh!
A little bit of everybody.
Oh.
Teachers, right. Parents of other students.
Band kids.
This here story isn't about one of those junior high wedgies where they, kick your ass and take your lunch money. This is a little different. Wapple, what did the cool kids do to you?
They just wouldn't talk to me.
They didn't talk to you?
It was more hurtful.
Yeah.
You'd rather have the wedgie because you're getting the attention?
Yeah, exactly. It's like when, friends make jokes about you. It's like, oh, at least they're making jokes about me, so they like me.
Hey, by the way, when we go to Wisconsin in a couple of weeks, whatever we do there, it stays there, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time
You know what I'm
trusting
saying?
you.
Oh, you better trust me because I'm the one who's making the rules.
He's not going to say a friggin' word. Nothing.
All right.
I wonder who is going to get the most wild out of all of us. My money's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually how it happens.
That's a safe bet, you know?
I could see Josh coming into that live broadcast Friday morning. One of his arms is broken.
Reeks like vodka.
Got lipstick all over his belly, just shirtless.
Dried vomit everywhere.
Yeah. He's got a pair of jean shorts on, nothing else. He's got a broken arm. He's got lipstick and glitter all over his stomach. And vomit.
2 black eyes.
He's got vomit in one of his front pockets. He's like, well, how did you puke into one of your pockets? I don't know. And he's got a fresh tattoo. A couple who visited one of Disney World's water parks for what was supposed to be a wonderful 30th birthday celebration have filed a lawsuit. They say the trip was ruined by an extremely painful wedgie.
Why do they call it a wedgie?
Because the underwear is pulled up from the back until it wedges in.
They also have an atomic wedgie. Now, the goal there is to actually get the waistband on top of the head. Very rare.
This terrible incident was back in the year 20+19, don't you know? So, these people went ahead to a place called the Typhoon Lagoon at Orlando's Walt Disney World Resort. A gal named Emma McGinnis says she, her daughter, and her mom took a ride on something called the Humunga Cowabunga.
Yeah, that sounds like a wedgie giver right there.
I'll give your mom a ride on the Humunga Cowabunga. so here they go. A lady, her daughter, and her mama jumped up on the Humunga Cowabunga water slide. It's a 200-foot setup. You go flying down 5 stories, they say, in a dark tunnel before shooting out into a pool like your diarrhea or something.
Those straight down slides, I do not go on those. Those are the only things I will not go on. Those are terrifying.
You're in a dark tunnel for 5 stories. Oh my God. And you out into a pool.
Mm-mm.
And this all turned into a big damn lawsuit, like I said. And here's what Miss McGinnis said. She said or at least her lawyers, or this is the verbiage that they used in the lawsuit. At the top of the slide, riders are instructed to cross their legs at the ankles. Riders are not told why their ankles need to be crossed, the importance of doing so, or the risks of injury if one's ankles become uncrossed. No, they're not. I've been at the top of one of those water slides. Yeah, they always tell you to cross their ankles. No, they don't tell you why. Mm-hmm. I'm just excited to take
that was just for good luck.
I always thought it just made you go faster.
I just want to hit up the diarrhea ride like anyone else. Nor are riders informed, they say, that the force of the water in the pool can, quote, push loose garments into a person's anatomy, an event known as a wedgie. This is all in the lawsuit.
Oh, do they have to put this on a sign next to the slide? Like, hey, may cause wedgie?
They might have to.
Big wedgie giver.
Because of a woman's anatomy, the risk of a painful wedgie is more common and more serious than it is for a man, the lawsuit says. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened. Miss McGinnis became briefly airborne towards the end of the slide. Oof. And suffered such a hard landing in the pool that she required hospitalization for serious injuries. She's been left with permanent injuries, the suit says, including damage to her internal organs. scarring, mental anguish, loss of the capacity of enjoyment of life, expensive hospitalization, medical care, loss of earnings. All of her injuries are either permanent or continuing in nature. They want $50,000 in damages. They say that the slide is unsafe and unreasonably dangerous. Disney was negligent because it didn't advise riders of the potential risks or the need to wear garments that would prevent wedgies. As far as I know, Walt Disney World has not commented on this nightmare. So, either this is a complete scam and a pathetic attempt at a quick money grab, or this McGinnis lady had her bathing suit shoot up her bottom and wipe her pancreas.
I think it was really bad. I think it was really bad.
I can't imagine that.
Well, I think they say it was a front door problem, actually, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it messed with their intestines. It tore things up down there.
That's insane.
I don't know. It's crazy that just her bathing suit could do something like that.
Yeah, and it seems like you're coming out with such force that even male genitalia would be hurt by that impact.
Well, yeah, I mean, I bet your nuts can get knocked into next week pretty good. That's the fun of it, to get your nuts kicked in.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you remember it forever.
Not wrong there.
I'll tell you what, I bet the tag on this lady's swimsuit never thought it would see her large intestine.
No.
You know what I mean? But
I wonder if there's one of those slides where they take a picture of you when you're going down and you can get a little souvenir photo.
You just see her burping out a Victoria's Secret receipt.
Oh, God. She's just got like a look on her
this
face.
Poor woman. Oh, man.
No.
I can't. Awful.
I went on a couple of those water slides. I told you before that I karate kicked a 4-year-old about 17 feet into the air, and it was so much fun. It was. I mean, like the Olympics karate. I got to the bottom of that slide, and some stupid kid wandered in front of me, and I just drop kicked that little pecker. Oh my word! And his mother was just, ah! Well, get your friggin' kid out of the way.
You should have been standing there.
Just crane kick. I won the All Valley Championship with that move, Josh. Just right in that kid's jaw. He was eating nothing but soup for the rest of the weekend. Get out of the way, stupid 4-year-old.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
When I retire, bro, I really want to be a porn star, though, bro. Like, dead serious. Like, you think I got that? No?
Nah, I mean, just do whatever you want, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't got an opinion on that.
I wish it was true, but I guess he was joking around. That was Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Is that the name?
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
He said after he's done playing football, he wants to go into porn. Be a porn star.
I guess I don't know what he looks like.
And then I couldn't make out a single word that the other guy said. But
he didn't
seem impressed.
No, not at all. That was pretty good. All right, whatever you want, bro. All right.
Well,
yeah, that did not go anywhere.
It came from one of his Twitch accounts, so I think they were playing video games together.
Oh.
So I think he was just into his video. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the guy was like, yeah, man. Whatever.
Good for you.
Okay, I guess he was joking around. But I'd watch a Tyreek Hill porno movie, absolutely. Hey, I got to get out the way because we're running out of time. We're running late. I've effed everything up from the get-go. But real quick, now we know who we're supposed to hate. We know the Twins will be playing the Toronto Blue Jays in the wild card round. Now we know. I'm thankful it's not Houston.
Yes.
Number one, because they're a great baseball team, and number two, that would probably send my blood pressure to an unsafe level, and I would drop dead of a massive coronary sometime during tomorrow's game. Toronto, trust me, I'll find a reason to hate them by tomorrow, but it's just a little less angst knowing they're going to face the Blue Jays. We can talk about that up and down. We'll talk about very convincing win by the Vikings yesterday over the, what do you call that other club they were playing?
Carolina?
Very convincing, right?
Totally.
Had it all the way along.
I guess if you didn't watch the game, you might think that. Yes.
They had it from the very first kickoff.
Brad and Randy will be here in a half hour. Josh's News is next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
Millions of listeners and thousands of 5-star reviews rave about the hit podcast series In the Red Clay. The unbelievable story of Billy Sunday Burt, the most dangerous man in Georgia history.
He was a whiskey man, bank robber, hitman. He was a murderer. He's also my father.
Seasons 1 and 2 are available to binge right now, and bonus episodes are coming soon. Imperative Entertainment presents In the Red Clay. Get the podcast wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
Just perfect for us, except for one neighbor across the street.
A Pennsylvania man who pled guilty to threatening to kill his neighbors has been sentenced to house arrest right across the street from the neighbors he threatened to kill.
It's just unfortunate that his punishment is house arrest. It doesn't really solve our problem. Not that we're asking for it to be different, but he's still there every single day. It's very on edge to live here, but this is where we love to live.
41-year-old Jerry Mulligan made death threats on multiple occasions, and the victim said it was especially terrifying when the neighbor threatened to kill his wife and son while he was out of town.
Oh!
The defendant would at times be armed. In one incident, he was sitting on the hood of his car and staring the family from across the street. The victim said Mulligan then continued making threats on 4 more separate occasions, so he bought security cameras. The victim said the weirdest thing is he doesn't know why the neighbor was making threats.
He said that Jerry Mulligan had threatened to murder her and my son. As a father, that's terrifying. That has been the biggest question of it all, because we have never actually spoken to Jerry. We've never said a word to him.
According to court documents, Mulligan told police he thought his neighbor was shining a laser into his home.
Dude, unbelievable. And the guy's just still right across the street?
Yeah. He's got to stay there. He can't go anywhere.
They've never said a word to the man.
Not one word.
Oof, here we effing go.
A drunk Ohio dad was arrested at his son's homecoming dance. 45-year-old Stephen Stevens was taken into custody after ignoring orders from a school resource officer holding his 18-year-old son and others in custody for fighting. The officer at the scene said while he was waiting for an assistant principal to arrive, an intoxicated Stevens confronted him and tried to take his son away. When Stevens refused to go, the officer tried escorting the dad away from the school building, but again, he refused. The officer noted Stevens' breath smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred. The cop then wrestled Stevens to the ground and arrested him. Principal Kyle Fender said in a letter to parents that the arrest took place near a group of students waiting to be picked up from the dance.
Oh, that brings me back to my youth, I'll tell you that. A drunk parent showing up to a social event? Now we're talking.
A Tennessee woman who had previously been arrested for fighting a minor has been charged again after trying to run her over with her SUV weeks after the original incident.
God.
35-year-old Allison Coronado was taken into custody in August for trying to fight a girl as she got off her school bus in the East Knoxville area. She was taken into custody again after the latest incident, which happened Wednesday, September 20th. According to the report, police spoke with the student who said Coronado had tried to hit her with her car as she was walking home from her bus stop while shouting, "Run, fatty, run!" at the victim.
No.
Police also said in the report they were able to track down a video of the incident which showed the student running from the SUV which crossed traffic in her direction. Coronado was charged with assault for the second time. In last month's incident, Coronado was accompanied by a minor as they waited in their car for the school bus to arrive. The report went on to say that she and the minor both got out of the car and attacked 2 children after they exited the bus and began walking down the street. One of the victims had braids pulled out of her hair by the attackers.
God.
Police reported that one of the victim's mothers ended up breaking up that fight. In a similar story, this time in New York, a Long Island mom took matters into her own hands to track down some kids she thought were bullying her son.
Tough neighborhoods, Cubby.
I know.
Tough neighborhoods.
A Missouri woman is charged with felony assault after allegedly driving away from an argument and then traveling for several miles with her husband still on the hood of the car. Prosecutors said 38-year-old Stephanie Boyd and her husband got into an argument at their home Thursday. She then allegedly got in her vehicle to leave and drove off with the husband on the hood. She apparently drove on the interstate for about 4.6 miles before exiting. That's when an officer saw the vehicle pass them and attempted a traffic stop. but police said Boyd wouldn't pull over for about another half mile.
And there's the old man just hanging onto the hood for dear life.
Yeah, on the freeway and everything.
That's scary.
I bet they have crazy good sex.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're totally right.
You are.
Yeah. Burning the sheets up.
I mean, they could teach a class on it.
Mm-hmm.
A Wisconsin woman now charged with fourth offense drunk driving was caught on video chugging a canned cocktail as police arrived at the scene of the crash she had just caused.
She had to wipe one more out?
I guess.
Yeah.
Figure I'm going away for a while. Might as well have another one. Cell phone video shot by one of the crash victims shows 55-year-old Michelle Miller grabbing a can out of a cooler inside a nearby gas station.
So why are you trying to buy more alcohol after you done hit my car?
Can't drink that in here. Lady!
She literally just had a 4-car accident outside your establishment.
In minutes, Waukesha police responded to the crash in which Miller's truck plowed into an SUV, causing a chain reaction involving 4 vehicles. By the time police arrived, she could be seen on the video walking outside with the cocktail she hadn't paid for and then chugging it next to the gas pumps. After she was seen collapsing on a patch of grass, she was treated for minor injuries and arrested. There were no serious injuries in that incident.
She's one of these no rules people. What's that slogan again when you drink a certain drink?
No rules or, oh, yeah.
No, ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No laws for the claws. Got it.
No rules, just right. Is that
Outback.
Australia? Outback, yeah. Video from Tuesday shows a truck losing some precious cargo in Savage. A box containing bottles of wine fell out onto Highway 13 near Lynn Avenue South about 7:48 p.m., prompting one driver deciding not to waste it. Traffic camera footage revealed they ran over and grabbed some for themselves. Crews eventually got there to clean the rest up, disposing of the wine at the Public Works facility. In related news, several streets in Portugal were flooded with wine that spilled from a distillery September 10th. 600,000 gallons of red wine gushed out of the facility when a tank collapsed because of a structural failure, knocking over another tank. Firefighters collected the wine and removed it to a wastewater treatment plant there. A driver choking on a French fry is blamed for a crash into a western Kentucky strip mall. Henderson police said the driver pulled off the road while choking on the fry, but at some point lost control and ran into an Enterprise rent-a-car. Both the passenger and driver had to be pulled out of the vehicle and taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A woman who witnessed the crash said she never really thought about the dangers of eating while driving.
Do it, and I'm sure, a lot of people do. It's not something I've ever thought about, but now, definitely would think about it more.
Enterprise has since reopened for business.
Cubby, you're a big eater. Have you ever nearly asphyxiated yourself on an onion ring or anything like that?
No, not at all.
Oh, God.
Luckily.
You take them big fat bites, you do.
I go for it.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutors allege a man broke into a Border Patrol office in Washington State and took ballistic vests, ammunition, and a radio because he needed the items to prepare for a zombie apocalypse.
Zombie apocalypse.
He's ready now.
According to the charges, a Border Patrol agent responded to an alarm at an office about 1 a.m. August 28th and found 30-year-old Austin Geiger wearing a Customs and Border Protection jacket and body armor. The agent confirmed he was not a CBP employee and had an extensive criminal history in Oregon. The agent also found he had a rifle magazine and some CBP-issued pepper spray and a CBP radio.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
He stated that he entered through a door of the building and began taking things that he needed to protect himself because he said he believed he was in a zombie apocalypse. He's scheduled for a detention hearing later this month.
Oh, he thought it was currently happening.
Yes.
Wasn't just preparing for.
A 10-year-old boy is accused of stealing a Bobcat construction vehicle and wreaking havoc as he drove it through a Pittsburgh neighborhood. The child stole the equipment from a construction site about 7:30 p.m. last Monday. Surveillance video from a neighbor shows the child plow through a fence and drive the vehicle on the sidewalk while dressed as a construction worker.
We were just taking it out for a joyride. He plowed over the fence and came up around this corner and hit my car first and then just smashed a bunch of other cars along the way. Said to be wearing a construction hat and goggles.
Looked the part. The homeowners can be seen running out of their homes and chasing the Bobcat down the street where the child struck multiple vehicles, a fence, and a stop sign. Police released the child back to his family about an hour after he was caught.
Boy, I wouldn't be too happy if I was that kid's daddy.
Oh, I bet the parents were pissed. The new Saw movie is apparently a bloody nightmare, so much so that someone called the cops while they were putting the film together in post-production. The editor for Saw X got paid a visit by cops while he was splicing up the film, particularly during sound design for a really gruesome scene where a character apparently gets their eyes sucked out.
Oh!
The director said there was a knock at the door. Police said the neighbors called, and someone's being tortured to death in here, is what your neighbor said. The editor apparently replied, actually, I'm just working on a movie. You can come in and see if you want. The police declined as they were convinced everything was okay.
Jesus Christ. You can't have a movie where someone gets their eyes sucked out.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm not going to watch that.
Monday.
Oh, I totally am.
Nobody's seen it yet?
No.
Nah, not yet.
Monday Night Football. Tonight, the New York Giants host the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe getting my eyes sucked out isn't such a bad idea.
You're all right now?
Yeah.
Paul Tuttle Jr., 49 today, of American Chopper. Former Minnesota Twins pitcher Eddie Guardado, 53.
Oh, wasn't he wonderful to watch, Josh?
Absolutely.
Loved him.
Musician Sting, 72, and that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
24/7, he's nude in his unit, but for 10 to 15 minutes a day, he will go near the windows and he will expose himself and touch himself.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Cousins throws, picked off, and it could be trouble up the far sideline. Sam Franklin from the 1-yard line. Cousins trying to track him down. He'll cut it back, get a block, and he'll go 99 yards for the score. Already turned it over once today in the red zone. That 99-yard pick six. Cousins play action being chased down. Cousins looking, throwing, caught for the touchdown. Justin Jefferson. Play clock dwindling down. He'll get it off. Young being tracked down. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by Wanham. DJ Wanham rumbling inside the 20. He'll go all the way to the house. And a sudden change of momentum. Minnesota has tied it. To the final play of the quarter. Could be a freebie. Cousins to the end zone. It is caught. Jefferson for another touchdown. 30-yard score at the end of the quarter. Young sack from behind, and that'll do it.
Yeah. Welcome back to the program. It's been a poke. It's wonderful to have the boys back in the mix. The Ass Man, Randy Shaver. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
And the one and only lonely, Brad Ruiter. What's
Good
going
morning.
on? It's good to have you guys back. What's been going on with the both of you?
Nice quiet week.
Quite a bit.
Well,
Quite a bit,
What do you mean? What do you mean, Brad Ruiter?
No, I've been kind of a busy time. I went to my niece's wedding Friday night and went and entertained my wife at the Renaissance Festival Saturday. So it was kind of a busy weekend.
Brad and the old lady at the Renaissance Festival?
It wasn't my idea, but I thought I'd bring it up for a talking discussion.
No, I appreciate it. I think we talked about it last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. I just for a minute there, I pictured you wearing chain mail and a shield and a sword and calling yourself Lord Ruiter.
No.
You didn't dress up?
No, didn't dress up.
No corset, nothing like that?
Nope.
You see a little bit of that there, don't you?
The people watching there is pretty good, though.
Opportunity missed.
I think they were watching you, Brad. Who's this guy?
Your wife enjoys that vibe.
Oh, yeah. She
Okay.
likes going to that.
All right. Now Ashley's crazy about the Renaissance Festival, right?
Yep, I actually just went yesterday. It was
Did you?
The last day was yesterday.
Oh,
Did you
read
dress
it
up?
again?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
It's over already?
They end early.
Yeah. No, they start I think mid-August and go through Sunday.
Your niece got married?
My niece got married on Friday night. Yep.
Who would get married last week?
Stupid.
That doesn't make any sense. Why last week?
Absolutely stupid. I don't know who would do such a thing. I think Cubby's trying to get me to mention to the both of you that I got married last week.
Oh, my gosh.
You did. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Last Tuesday. That's why we took the bulk of last week off. Because
congratulations.
Thank you, Randy Shaver. You met her at, and Brad, you met her at the
I've
gala.
met her too. You outkicked your coverage, so that
You
good job.
certainly did.
Yeah, so me and my new wife and a couple of her girlfriends, we went on a honeymoon.
What did she have on you? Did she have something on you? Is that why you
Well, we got a baby on the way.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, positive
Okay.
test.
We got a baby on the way.
Okay.
So you got to make it. We got to square things up.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Last Tuesday, I got married for the second time in my life. And so we went on a little adventure up to Lutsen and Grand Marais and that whole scene.
Well, fun.
Nice. A good time of year to go up there, too.
Definitely.
Yeah, tell me why, Brad. Why is it a good time of year to go up there?
Because the leaves are changing.
You son of a bitch. We covered this earlier. We talked all about the fact that I got married last week, and a lot of folks texted in thinking it was a joke. I mean, in the end, it probably will be a joke. But for now, we're making a run at it. I mentioned we're still really in the beginning stages of getting to know each other. I'll let you know what happens.
I probably would have thought it was a joke if I wouldn't have spent some time around you guys earlier this summer, and I can tell that you genuinely actually like each other. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say. We like each other. You could tell that I'm kind of running things too, couldn't you, Brad? Right from the
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Says who?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when we were sitting there at Randy Shaver's gala fundraiser? Ashley was there with her next husband.
Yep.
Remember that when I said, go get me some cookies, and then my woman went and got me some cookies?
That's exactly
sure it
what
was
happened.
the other way around.
No. Hurry up, I said. Well, there you go. So, yeah.
Well, good.
Dead man walking.
That's what they say, right?
You guys know all about the pain. What do you think about this? Now, I didn't get a chance to see much of the Vikings-Carolina Panthers matchup, but the Vikes won by 7 or 8 points. What do you make of this?
I would say that it may have saved their season to some degree.
Oh.
Had they lost that game. They got off to a terrible start with that 99-yard interception return.
Okay, that was funny, right?
just some other things that happened along the way, but
what happened on that?
Got to give their defense credit to come to the party in the second half, and it was, I guess, a big sigh of relief from Viking fans that they're not 0-4 this morning.
The defense played better, but they were lucky to be playing against a rookie quarterback. So
yes.
give them some credit, though. They showed up, like Randy said, in the second half.
Harrison Smith was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he was awesome, yes.
What did he do?
Smith was amazing.
What did Harrison Smith do?
He had 3 sacks, I think.
Oh.
3 sacks, a forced fumble.
Blitzing from the safety position. And
14 tackles. It's never been done in the NFL before.
He had 14 tackles and 3 sacks on the day?
And a forced fumble.
Jesus Christ, some guys go a whole year without getting 14 tackles, 3 sacks.
He's got more sacks by himself yesterday than the Bears do this season.
Well, all right, he had a hell of a game.
Did you guys see on the Kirk Cousins, the first interception, the dude who was full-on sprinting so he could get a block on Kirk?
It was awesome.
Dude.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk, you gotta give Kirk. I mean, it was a bad throw, but you got to give him a little credit for actually sprinting down the field to try to make a play. Most quarterbacks don't do that.
Let me tell you something, Wapple. I would also exhaust myself to knock Kirk Cousins on his ass. I would run myself dead to get a chance to run that guy over. That was funny. That was fun. That's perfect. Because you can tell this guy's thinking, oh, I can't wait to knock this douchebag down.
It's like you could even see him kick it into a second gear. He's like, here we go.
Oh, to get a chance to plant any quarterback in that situation is fun. But especially if I would have been that other D-back from the car. What's the name of their team again? The Panthers?
Carolina?
Yes, I would have made a beeline for Cousins, too. They got the win. They're 1-3. What else was there going on?
Kansas City next. So
okay.
Yep.
That little quarterback for Carolina, what's his story? Where's he from?
Bryce Young. So he's from Alabama. Yeah, he was the first overall pick in the draft.
Oh, really? This past draft?
You don't remember that from your draft party?
Oh, my God. I was busy planning a wedding, Brad.
Yeah.
He's a tiny little guy.
5'10".
Not the biggest guy, is he?
No, he's not. He's not the prototypical NFL quarterback. He's like Russell Wilson. He's like 5'10", 5'11".
You mentioned the Chiefs. They won last night on Sunday Night Football by a field goal over the New York Jets. That old MILF man. Boy, he had, had an opportunity to drive his club down and win the ball game. He fumbled the friggin' snap, and that was the end of that. Chiefs got the ball back, and they milked the clock out from there. That was a damn shame. I was hoping the MILF man could do something cute, get everyone off his ass.
Yeah, I felt bad for the kid.
He looked better last night. I watched a decent part of that game. He looked pretty good.
And Randy Shaver, you mentioned the Bears.
Yes, sir. They blew it. 28-7 on Denver. Had them done and lost the game.
They lost 31-2. I didn't know they had a massive lead on the Broncos.
28-7.
So Denver beats. This was like the toilet bowl game of the week, right?
This was the toilet bowl game.
All right.
Exactly.
They were both 0-3 going into it. Denver gets the win by 3 points. Now,
remember Denver coming off that 73-point loss or whatever it was, 70-point loss.
Oh, yeah, they just got just pummeled by Miami. Now, there was a bar in Chicago, and we saw this gimmick earlier this year with a bar in New York, or a bar in Green Bay, right, Josh?
Yep, the Green Bay.
Right, Rodgers.
The Green Bay bar who was poking fun at Karen Rodgers, and why wouldn't you, by saying, you'll drink for free anytime the Jets lose. Let's have some fun with that. There was a bar in Chicago yesterday that offered free drinks if the Bears lost to Denver, and they did.
If the Bears lost to
If
Denver?
the Bears lost. I think basically what they were saying was there's no way we're going to lose. The Bears are going to lose to Denver.
Come out and drink,
Come out and drink, have a good time. They even had pizza, I think, free pizza for the party. They were basically guaranteeing that the Bears would win yesterday, covering every customer's tab if they lose.
Dude, that is a bold move.
And I didn't know this until Randy mentioned it, but not only did the Bears lose, but they completely wet the bed. Yes. That must have been a riot at that friggin' bar. That must have been just a blast. I would have loved to have been there for that.
Because everybody's like conservatively drinking, thinking I'm going to have to pay my own bar bill. It's 28-7. And then as the game moves along, they'll probably start drinking a lot more, thinking, I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if anything else. A lot of blowouts yesterday as I'm looking at the NFL scoreboard over here. Dallas just curb stomped the hell out of New England. Who else was in here? Baltimore handled Cleveland. Tennessee handled Cincinnati 27-3. That Cincinnati team is done.
Yeah, Buffalo was great.
Buffalo crushed Miami.
How about the
Houston beat the
Texans?
hell out of Pittsburgh? Yeah.
So C.J. Stroud yesterday. This is I saw this this number since 1970. He's the first rookie quarterback to throw for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in 3 straight games.
So he's off to a great start.
151 passes without an interception to start his career.
C.J. Stroud, give me his background. What's his story?
This is the kid from Ohio State who I think was the second pick in the draft behind Bryce Young.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, they're 2-2, and they crushed the Steelers yesterday.
I said something, I think, out loud about the Cleveland Browns. Listen to this. Now, we all have a pretty good time with athlete off-the-field injuries, but this one sounds pretty bad. Cleveland Browns tight end David Njoku? Njoku. I don't know if he played yesterday against Baltimore.
He did.
Okay,
Yeah.
then he's okay. He suffered burns to his face and arms in an accident at home while lighting a fire pit.
Oh, wow.
I wonder what the hell happened there.
The face. He probably used too much gas.
Gas?
Yeah. What, you've never used gasoline on a fire?
Yeah, not beyond my 14th birthday, I think.
Really?
No, I haven't either.
I definitely still will throw some gas on it.
There were pictures of him showing up at the stadium yesterday in a full-on mask, like from head to through his neck.
Yeah.
Oh, was he joking around?
No, I mean, I just
Because his
think
name
the
is
burns were
David
so bad.
Njoku?
Oh,
What?
no, I think the burns were so bad he just didn't want people to see.
Ashley, stop pouring gasoline on your friggin' fire pit.
Yeah, I will.
You do enough reckless things with your life than to have you.
I imagine
Stop
you're
doing
never
that.
sober when you do it either.
That is true.
Yeah.
You usually don't have fires or bonfires late at usually drinking.
Knock that off.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Speaking from a man who once singed his eyebrows off.
Doing the same thing?
No, I was lighting a cigarette on the stove.
Lighting a cigarette on a stove.
Yeah.
Dana smoking a cigarette.
You kept the cigarette in your mouth while you lit it?
Yeah. It just went down and
You dipped your head down into the stuff.
yeah, like inhale as I did it, and just went poof.
Jesus, it's like an episode of the old Laurel and Hardy show or something. You know what I mean?
When you have burnt hair like right above your eyes, right above your nose, you smell that. It's pretty potent.
Oh.
I'll bet that reeked, yeah.
It did. It was awful.
It's like the Three Stooges
It was.
type of stuff.
It's like Lou Ford ironing his pants while they were on him.
That's a classic.
That's an awesome story.
Tell me, you football fans, you NFL fans, were there any cute touchdown celebrations yesterday?
Nothing that
don't
stood
know.
out.
Fair enough. Some website went ahead and stated what they believe to be the best NFL touchdown celebrations of all time. They created a top 5. I don't know how you can rank something like this. There have been so many great touchdown celebrations over the years. Randy Shaver, Brad Ruiter, the Fun Bunch.
Yep.
The Icky Shuffle. The this, the that dance, all the different... I remember one of my favorites. Does anyone recall former NFL tight end? I think he spent most of his career in San Diego. Alfred Papunu.
I don't remember.
Anyway, when Alfred Papunu would score a touchdown, he would take the football and hold it like it was a beer bottle, and then he'd grab the pointy end of the football like he was taking the bottle cap off the beer bottle, and then he would drink from the football. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I like that bit.
He'd pop the top and then glug, 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 and then there have been so many. The website was called studyfinds.com. And they base their list on mentions across the internet. So I don't know if this is any particular order. It doesn't matter. But they listed Chad Ochocinco when he proposed to a Bengals cheerleader on the sideline.
I bet he's on this list a few times.
Well, it's only a top 5.
Oh, okay.
But if there was more, I'm sure you're right. You would be right. The cheerleader accepted Chad Johnson's mock proposal of marriage. He says he did not even know her name. But that was a cute one. I remember that. Also on the list, again with this friggin' Randy Moss mooning the Lambeau Field crowd, on and on and on and on and on with that. And, of course, he explained that he and the rest of the Vikings had been mooned by Packer fans earlier that day or something like that. So that's why he did the gimmick. Joe Buck didn't like it, and there are still Vikings fans who will never forgive Joe Buck for not straight up giving Randy Moss an HJ while his pants were down.
My boyfriend has a T-shirt of Randy Moss like mooning the crowd.
It's a very popular shirt.
He wore it to Lambeau Field like last year when we went there for a Vikings game, and he got way more compliments from Packers fans versus Vikings fans.
Well, enough time has gone by.
They couldn't get enough of it. They loved it.
Right. He was pretty sensitive day morning after.
I've seen that shirt quite a bit, and also the Straight Cash Homie shirt.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me they're selling them outside of U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah. One of my cousins has the Straight Cash Homie, but it says Straight Cash Ho Ho Homie because it's a Christmas shirt.
Okay, I'm aggravated by that. I'm aggravated. Who of you has a Ric Flair Christmas sweater again? Is that you, Wapple?
The one that lights up with all the light bulbs? And it's pink and it's blue and it's got all of his sayings on it.
Sounds like it's Wapple.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dana.
Yeah, that's me.
What does it say on it?
High flying, wheelin' dealin', son of a gun. Like it has all of his catchphrases and like word bubbles and stuff like that.
I'm just not a Christmas sweater, Christmas T-shirt kind of a guy, but it's the Nate. I can't be too mad at you. Terrell Owens makes the list of the greatest touchdown celebrations of all time when he splashed himself with a bucket of popcorn.
I was going to say, that kind of started a catchphrase that still gets used today.
Well, didn't he say, if you don't remember, he catches a touchdown pass, he goes to the sideline, someone hands him a bucket of popcorn, and he kind of threw it into his own face. Which was kind of comical to watch. But was the story that earlier that day, to promote their game against San Francisco or whoever, he said, get your popcorn ready?
Yeah, that's what I'd always heard.
And then later on, right.
And then wasn't he also the one with the Sharpie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, autographed the ball.
Yeah.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, he hit it underneath the field goal pole.
Or no, he had it in his sock.
He had it in his sock.
Oh, I thought it was in the padding.
No, he had it in his sock.
Joe Wapple, what you're thinking of is Joe Horn.
Oh, okay.
Joe Horn.
Yep.
He also makes the list, former New Orleans Saints wide receiver, his phone home celebration.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Where he goes into the end zone against somebody, pulls a cell phone out from the padding of the uprights, and then apparently he legitimately called his mother. He was fined $30,000 for that.
That's worth it.
Finally, on this top 5 touchdown celebration, Steve Smith, another wide receiver, Carolina Panther, with his row the boat celebration against the Vikings. Does anyone remember that?
I think they're all like sitting down, rowing the boat.
I think
that was right after the Love Boat deal.
Yeah, I don't know if he was by himself or some teammates got involved, but he sat down and then began pretending to row. And like Brad Ruiter said, this was to mock the Vikings because this was soon after the Bang Boat scandal.
Yep.
And it pissed the Vikings off a lot, which makes it that much better. It says here in the article, Steve Smith could be downright mean, but that's why Panthers fans loved him so much. He wanted to humiliate his opponents, and his boat rowing celebration did just that. Josh, I think I remember you loving this one a lot. When he pretended to change the football's diaper.
Yes.
Yes. Didn't he take a towel out the front of his pants, and he lays it out on the field, and he puts the football, and he starts to diaper the football. It was just ridiculous, but it was very funny. I like that one, you guys. I'm not sure what to make of this. Back to the Vikings real quick. They lead the NFL for most out-of-market fans that don't live in Minnesota. An online gambling site put this together. They dug down into what NFL team has the most out-of-state fans, and I guess the Vikings lead the league. I never
surprises me.
Because why, Randy?
Maybe that's because there's snowbirds in all these Arizona, Florida places that.
Okay.
Boy, there were a lot of
Vikings
Vikings
had a lot of fans there yesterday.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was crazy.
I would have guessed they were top 10, but I wouldn't have guessed they would be number 1. You think of the Cowboys and teams like that.
Absolutely, Green Bay.
Yeah.
Who else is popular? Who's the well these days? Cincinnati, Buffalo. Look at Dana with all his Buffalo gear on. Yeah, I never would have guessed the Vikings would be number 1. But the Vikings fans are traveling very well lately. This was not a thing for a long, long time. Vikings fans just didn't travel. Maybe you'd see a small amount of Vikings up until, would you guys say up until about, maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vikings fans just didn't. You would see all different visiting teams.
Depends on where the away game is at.
Well, maybe you'd see a few in Tampa Bay, because it was the weather. I'm just saying, generally speaking, up until about 10 years ago, I would say Vikings fans were one of the least traveled fan bases. That's completely changed now. Completely changed.
If you weren't watching the game yesterday and you were just basing how it was going by crowd reaction, you wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, if the Vikings scored a touchdown, it was just as loud as if they were playing at home. It was nuts.
Lots has changed, absolutely.
I've been to one Vikings road game. It was in Arizona in 2003 when the Vikings just needed to win to make the playoffs.
Oh, no.
And they got knocked out in the last second Hail Mary touchdown.
I remember that.
I remember that very well.
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback for Arizona? I don't think it was Jake Plummer.
I just looked up Josh McCown.
McCown, yeah.
And that was a Vikings home game because I think it was over New Year's, so everybody from Minnesota was there.
Oh, sure.
They were treating it like it was just one big party. We're going to make the playoffs.
I think that was the last game of Mike Tice's coaching career.
I think you're right.
He didn't know what he was doing. College football, Golden Gophers beat Louisiana on Saturday. Got a couple of touchdown passes to that Daniel Jackson. They did not have the services of Darius Taylor, who's been just outstanding. He's hurt. But they got a win, and now they got a nationally televised primetime game this Saturday against friggin' Michigan. Friggin' Michigan.
Heck of
I'll be there.
With that effing guy, what's his name again? Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
Who I can't stand the sight of.
Break out your khakis.
Yep.
Those Michigan fans are douchebags, too. You're going to be there, Ashley?
Yep.
So will I.
Oh,
wow. 6:30
with your new
kickoff.
wife?
Huh?
With your new wife?
Depends on, we got a few days before Saturday, don't we?
That's true.
It depends on some things. Lots can happen between now and Saturday. Maybe it's Cubby that goes to the game with me.
I'd be honored.
That'd be fun.
Well, as I said earlier, gentlemen, now we know who we're supposed to hate for the next few days. Found out yesterday the Twins are going to be up against the Toronto Blue Jays in that wild card round, which starts tomorrow at Target Field.
Right.
Yep.
surprised the hell out of me. I didn't follow. I wasn't sitting there watching the scoreboard or whatever you call it, like on the internet or anything. We were at the bar yesterday, and suddenly they popped it up on the television. Twins, Blue Jays. Houston won their division, so they get a bye. What are they up against with the damn Blue Jays? I mean, I know they got Guerrero Jr. and Bichette Jr.
I think the two teams are very, very similar. I think they both have really solid, good starting pitching, and they have, okay hitting, but I think both teams are kind of constructed the same way around their starting staffs. I think I saw a note yesterday where the 4 Blue Jays starters have all pitched 160 innings this year. They're the only team in baseball who has 4 starters that have done that.
Okay.
So, I think the two teams are very, very similar.
I'm going to have to look into them. I mean, I watched the Blue Jays play a few times this year. I watched them at Target Field. The names that come to mind, Guerrero and Bichette can hit the living hell out of the baseball.
They can.
George Springer, right?
Yep.
Some good hitters.
They've got a decent lineup. They've gotten a great production this year out of guys like Whit Merrifield, who's a veteran player, and Matt Chapman.
Those are great hitters.
So they've got, and Brad's right, they've got a decent starting pitching staff for sure. Barrios, I don't know. They have not named the starters yet for games 1 and 2. I'm going to assume that probably, I don't know.
Maybe Bassett.
Gaussman probably is going to be their starter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bassett in game 2, maybe Barrios in game 3 would be a guess on my part, but we haven't seen that yet. But I think Brad's right. Both teams are pretty similar. This is the matchup from 91, right, where the Twins beat Toronto to win the American League. So be nice to see a repeat of that.
I think given the options, I would rather, not that it's a shoo-in that we're going to win the series, but I would rather play Toronto than Houston. I don't want to see Verlander.
They're going to see Houston anyway, though. Right?
Sure,
if they win the series, they'll get
I'd rather
the
play
Astros
them in a 5-game series than a 3-game series.
I'm with Brad Ruiter. I was relieved to know they wouldn't be facing the Astros, just because I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if my heart could take it. I've grown to hate the Houston Astros, and I just.
Well, it's one of those things, though. Let's be careful what we wish for.
No, I understand.
We were happy to play Oakland the one year, and then, of course, they got swept.
Right.
So.
No, we know all that. I'm just saying. I'm sure I will be full-on angst-ridden and stressed beyond belief once this series starts tomorrow against Toronto.
Well, it's a 3:30 start, afternoon games all the way through, all 3 games.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have to wait long, and once it's over, you can relax and take a deep breath. You're not staying up late. You're not showing up early.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on with this 3:30 start, and I know I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but the 3:30 start, so you're going to see, yes, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. The home plate shadows are going to be a factor. I don't think the run scoring is going to be quite as high as people think, because during the game, those shadows are going to be creeping not only through home plate, but then out to the pitching mound, too.
Right. Yeah, that could be some sort of a factor. The other matchups in the opening round, to Texas and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
The Brewers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, Miami, Philadelphia. The teams that got byes in the American League, Houston and Baltimore. In the National League, the Dodgers and the Braves.
And how about Luis Arraez wins the batting title in the National League? He's the first player to ever win back-to-back batting titles in each league.
Oh, good for him.
It's never been done before.
He's a very likable individual and a great hitter.
And they've had a great year. Good for them.
Miguel Cabrera is all done.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about his career with Dick Bramer tomorrow. Dick's going to jump on with us for our playoff edition tomorrow. Dude, Terry Francona.
Yep.
He's done, right?
Yes.
Cleveland Guardians manager Terry Francona. What a great career. I love that dude.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
One of my favorite side notes on Terry Francona is that he rides a scooter to the ballpark for home games. It's cute. He lives right down the road from the ballpark. He gets on his little scooter. But it's always getting stolen. Why would anyone want to be a dick to Terry Francona?
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, his scooter got stolen again. And this time, Josh, I think, would agree with me, they've gone too far. Last week, someone stole Terry Francona's beloved scooter, and they pooped on it.
Oh, that's messed up.
Oh. What?
What kind of statement is that?
Where does he
Just
park
rude.
it that it gets stolen?
I was going to
doesn't
say,
he
why
park
can't he bring it in the
stadium?
clubhouse? Why doesn't he bring it in the clubhouse?
Yeah, he ties it up to a parking meter. He's just a regular guy.
Oh,
He's just like you and
I don't
me.
understand that.
I think after the first time it got stolen, I'd park it in the clubhouse. But yeah.
Yes, here's a dude wants to start trouble. The Marlins won that trade with we covered this already.
The Marlins didn't win the trade because we've got Pablo Lopez pitching game one of the playoffs.
Both teams won that trade, which is very rare.
Small pecker from Becker Jesus. We talked about this last week. Stop with the argument between Pablo Lopez and Luis Ariz. Stop. We're at the end of the season. We're in the playoffs. We're in a good position. Why is everyone still obsessing over this?
And the guy's pitching game one of the playoffs.
Right.
I'll take that anytime.
Right. Hey,
Sorry.
small pecker from Becker. I dig your vibe and everything. We're still bros. But let that friggin' thing go. What, are you still upset about Randy Maw? Who else? So we never should have got rid of. Are you one of those we never should have got rid of guys?
Oh, David Ortiz.
Oh, God, don't do that to me, Waffle. Those are you still hear people. Okay, I got to let it go. So someone took a dump on Terry Francona's scooter. He did an interview with someone, and he said, quote, they defecated on it. And then he sarcastically asked the local police to, quote, bring back the death penalty.
You get done with a long day's work, you put in a good shift at the ball yard, you go out there, there's just a turd on your scooter.
Did someone poop on my scooter?
Yeah. And they also, Cubby, they beat the living hell out of it with a baseball bat. They killed it. They killed his scooter.
Not cool. Do we know if they knew that people know that is Francona's scooter, or are they just committing random acts of scooter violence?
Don't know.
I mean, it's well known he rides the scooter
That's
there.
true.
So it's a good possibility.
Remember that scene from South Park where Cartman took a big fat deuce on that dude's motorcycle?
Yeah.
God, that was funny. You know, Terry Francona once went ass over apple cart on that scooter on his way to the ballpark, and he spilled his dinner all over the streets of Cleveland.
I do remember that.
Yeah. All right, the Phillies are... Oh, yeah. Before we move on, thank you, Cubby, for the reminder. We're going to talk more this and that here in a minute. But we've been blessed with a big concert announcement. Don't you know? And I know a lot of you are saying, what's it going to be? The Goo Goo Dolls, at the...
The Goo Goo Dolls.
at the Dakota County Fair.
Tom Jones.
Now, I have a question, too. This is exciting for a lot of you. I have a question, too, after we get there. Brand new announcement, concert announcement. Foo Fighters. Sweet. With the Pretenders, are we talking like, I got brass in my, gonna use my fingers,
so, yeah.
Gonna use
Those are the
my
only ones I know of.
imagination, ho, cause I gonna make, right?
Right.
Foo Fighters with the Pretenders and L7, Sunday, July 28th at Target Field.
That is awesome.
Ooh, that does sound awesome.
I'll tell you that right now. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Oh, I can hear all kinds of people scampering around trying to make time to land those tickets. How's it going with the yard work, Brad?
Yeah, I was wondering at what point you were going to pick that up.
Trying to make a concert announcement, Brad.
Yes. I'm outside. I'm at my office, and they tend to, this time of the year, want to get every leaf off the grass that they possibly can.
You sound mad.
At exactly 8 a.m.
Yes.
outside my window.
Hey, Brad, I actually kind of like it.
Me too. It adds something.
It adds a little something, and don't ever complain about someone else doing your leaf work for you. I do that at my house, and I just want to beat myself to death.
I'm at work. I'm not at home. I would prefer that they would be doing it at my house, but
I'm sorry I blew up. Like this guy's blowing up right now.
I have a feeling if he's listening to the show, he's got some headphones out there, he just cranked it up to 11.
Well, he probably does. Yeah, right now.
Well, I just got a text from a listener that says the Foo Fighters are Nickelback's bitch.
Whoa.
Foo Fighters with the Pretenders and L7, Sunday, July 28th at Target Field. Tickets on sale Friday, 10 a.m. Listen to 93X all day for your shot to win. I got a shot right now. Do we have a shot right now, Josh?
We got a shot right this second.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text Pretender to 6.
Oh, good grief.
You know he's listening.
Yeah, give us two. If you're listening, give us two revs.
I'm gonna go stand by the window and see if he sees me here. Hang on.
Yeah, I want two distinct revs if he's listening.
There it is.
He missed. Dude, you missed a couple.
I think he. Let's try this one more time. Leaf blower dude, if you're listening, give us 3 pumps with the leaf blower.
I love this place sometimes.
That's amazing.
The Brotherhood is incredible.
I'm looking to see if he's looking up at any of the windows, but he's not.
Okay.
Take your shirt off. Give him something to look at.
Give Brad a show.
One more. Let's see if this works.
All right.
If we can hear him through your windows, okay. Leaf blower dude, if you can hear us, scream Brotherhood as loud as you can.
Brotherhood. No, now he walked away.
Ah.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was nice.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Okay, if you want tickets to this sumbitch, text Pretender to 651-989-9393 for your shot to win tickets to the Foo Fighters Sunday, July 28th at Target Field. The prize is furnished by Live Nation. Aren't they nice people at Live Nation?
Mm-hmm. They're good to us. Mm-hmm. Graham.
Oh, yeah, Grant.
Our buddy Graham is
I was
over
hoping
there.
we could hear the guy scream at us, but we got the 3 pumps, didn't we?
We did.
I think so.
Yeah, that sounded legit to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get fired, maybe. Oh, back to baseball here. This was last week, and I know we were off, so I hope this story hasn't been, spoiled too badly for anybody, but I had to throw it your way. The Phillies had a home game here the other day. And there was a Phillies fan who was denied entry into their home ballpark last week. The dude attempted to get into the ballpark with he had an emotional support alligator.
There's a lot of cute pictures of him and this alligator. They're buddies for sure. I'd never heard of that before, though. It's a new one.
The fan, I guess, is pretty well known around that part of Philly. He's named Joe something or another. He has the alligator's name is Wally.
Cute.
And he helps, Joe claims the alligator helps him with his depression. But the Phillies said no. They'll allow guide dogs and other things like that, but they don't want alligators in the ballpark.
I could see how having a pet alligator with you at all times could help with depression. I'd be pretty psyched if I had an alligator with me.
Nobody would mess with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe says that Wally, the alligator, likes to give hugs and he's very friendly. He says, my doctor wanted to put me on depression medicine, but I hate taking medicine. I got Wally, and he made everything all right. And my doctor said, yeah, go ahead. You don't need the pills if you got the alligator. If you ever run into Wally, Ashley, Joe says, when Wally turns his nose towards you, that means he wants a kiss on his little nose.
Just like Wapple.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Wapple.
Sad baseball news. Tim Wakefield has died.
Yeah, did he have some sort of
brain cancer?
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, brain cancer. He just announced it last month, but I think he's had it for a little bit, yeah.
Well, did he announce it? Because there's a scandal here, Randy. There's some drama here.
I
mean, number one, the man has died. He was 57 years old.
Right.
Knuckleballer, long-time knuckleballer in the big leagues. Won a couple of World Series with the Red Sox.
19 years.
Yeah, he was around for a long time.
His story is great, too, by the way. He was a former infielder. He was drafted as an infielder and couldn't hit. And then one day he was messing around throwing a knuckleball in practice. And one of the pitching coaches saw him throw the knuckleball and told him, let me see you do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, the guy they gave him an ultimatum. Either you be a pitcher or you're going to be done. And he became a knuckleball pitcher, and that was the end of the story.
Well, here's
he was discovered by a coach.
That is a great story. Here's where the drama comes into play, the scandal. Word is that one of his former teammates, that goofy-ass Curt Schilling, revealed on his podcast that Tim was dying against the Wakefield family wishes.
Oh.
Which is not cool at all.
Oh, no.
That's the story that I heard. Curt Schilling said, and I love this bit. This is one of my favorite bits of all time. Curt Schilling said, I don't know if he wants this information shared, but he shared it anyway. But he went on to say that he was a Christian and he's seen prayer work, so he's going to talk about it. Oh, he's a Christian, so that takes precedence somehow over the Wakefield family wishes. I'm really tired of that song and dance. I really am. Oh, are you better than you're a Christian? Is that what it is? So that takes precedent? Go. And people are pissed.
That's why Kurt Schilling is so hated.
Yeah, he's
among
not a
baseball
popular guy.
people. Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about it because I'm a Christian. God. Sorry I blew up. A lot of people are pissed. But let's forget that. Tim Wakefield,
yeah, a lot of people
unfortunately.
Twitter, social media blew up yesterday with just people just very sad and relaying stories and talking about Wakefield. Yeah.
Well, one of the big stories while we were gone, this Damian Lillard basketball trade.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a 3-team deal. Oh, my damn. You got Damian Lillard and the Greek Freak? How do you think that'll turn out? Total disaster?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so. If Middleton stays healthy,
Chris
Middleton.
They did have to give up somebody who is very underrated and a very, very good two-way player in Drew Holiday, though.
Yep.
So
well, he ended up getting traded to Boston.
Yes, Boston swooped him up in about 48 hours.
That's an exciting deal. Oh, what else is going on? I suppose you two guys probably watched the golf tournament over the weekend. What do they call it? The J.R. Ryder Cup or something like that?
Let's picture J.R. Ryder presenting the trophy.
When I used to work for the Twins, John Gordon, a couple of years, came up with our own version of the Ryder Cup with me, and we played singles matches.
There you
and stuff
go.
Like that, anyway. But no, I tried to pay attention to it, but because of I was going to say, because of the time difference, by the time you woke up in the morning, the U.S. was getting waxed every day, so it was hard to keep your attention on it.
So the United States got tuned up?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to bring it up because of a very interesting story about a player for Team USA. It sounds like he goes by the name of Sam Burns. Are you familiar with this individual?
Yep.
He got the call to join Team USA for this silly Ryder Cup. He says he got the call when he was in, quote, mid-poop.
Get up Monday morning, and I had to go to the bathroom. Like, bathroom. So literally as soon as I sit down, Justin started texting me. He's like, have you heard anything yet? And while I'm responding to him, Zach calls me. Of course, I had to answer. I answer. It's kind of small talking, and then he was like, hey, as the captain of the, U.S. Ryder Cup team, I just want to officially invite you. And I'm like, mid-poop. So, while I'm on the phone with him, I'm trying to, wipe and, get out of there. Also go tell Caroline.
Yeah, he was in mid-deuce, and then he got a call from somebody, and he started crying. Anyone ever been crying while...
Oh, that's a bad combo.
Sure. Josh and I have come close, haven't we, Josh?
Yeah. Oh, man. When we had to go get it.
We had to go get it.
Cool.
So the guy called him while he was on the throne, and he said, sure, I'll be there. And then he wiped, and he was on his way to the Ryder Cup, whatever that is. Oh. It's kind of funny. So I mentioned that I got hitched last week to some lady, got married. Got a funny text from a listener. Did you follow in your old man's footsteps and remarry your ex-wife? No, I didn't. But that's funny that you remember that. Yeah, my folks got married twice. They got married in 64 or something, and then divorced in 83, and then got remarried in, I don't know what it was, 97.
Wonder how common that is.
I don't know. No, it wasn't my ex. Does anyone care that Pros versus Joes, the television show, is coming back?
It's kind of fun for a little bit back in the day.
Did you watch Pros versus Joes?
Yeah, a couple episodes.
Never heard of it.
The pros were pros from quite a while ago. Yeah. It's not like they had current athletes out there from what I remember.
Well, yeah, you can't have a current athlete.
No, I know,
But you're saying, so was that one of your problems with the original? Was they drug some guy from 1956 out into the mix?
Yeah, it was kind of like they got him from they were neighbors of Randy. They were so old, They brought him out of the summer or the retirement community.
Don't drag my neighbors into this.
Pros versus Joes aired on Spike TV from 2006 to 2010. It featured regular people taking on professional athletes. usually in the, each professional athlete's sport. For example, one of the episodes from back in the day, could you beat Kendall Gill in a game of basketball? Former NBA star Kendall Gill. He must not have been that far beyond his playing career, but I see what you mean, You can't bring like a 22-year-old guy out today and say, you think you could beat Jake LaMotta in a boxing match? Well, yeah, I think I could. He's 104 years old. I think Jake LaMotta's dead now, but you know what I'm saying. So we'll see how this goes. Randy Shaver, you'd probably like to see how you do against Jarrah West.
Oh, I'd be a puddle of tears. I don't know if I'd even be able to keep my composure.
It will be difficult for you to keep your composure.
Yes.
Like maybe...
Gotta keep our composure! Exactly.
Wapple in a wrestling match against, I don't know. I mean, easy answer.
Mandy Rose.
Oh, whoa. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Boy.
Ripped through that spandex tights immediately.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to watch that.
An easy answer would be Mandy Rose, Ric Flair. Try to think of Wapple, who's like maybe an obscure wrestler who's out of the mix now. He's retired, that you think, you could put on a good show with. Oh. Let it sink in a little bit. Think about it if you have to. So, but, I mean...
Isaac Yankem.
Oh,
current politician Isaac Yankem,
who eventually became Kane.
Yeah,
right. That's not a bad answer. I'd like to see how I could match up. I don't know. My legs are gone, so maybe 15, 20 years ago, to take the ice against Chris Chelios or something like that. I would cheap shot that son of a bitch so badly, they'd have to take the show off the air. They'd have to take... Chelios would not see it coming. I'd be the nicest guy in the world. Oh, I remember you. You won a few cups. And then as soon as the camera lights went on, I would give that guy a hack in his Achilles tendon. I would.
Hall of Famer.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he just got inducted this year.
Well, good. I've always wanted to take out a Hall of Famer. We got to get going, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We're just getting started. We're working a full week this week.
Well, congratulations.
Wow. Yeah, thanks, Randy Shea.
You'll be taxed by Friday.
Yeah, and
He'll
Brad?
be taxed by tomorrow. He's a married guy now. He's got a honeydew list at home.
You got to be kidding me, Randy Shaver. I learned a long time ago. I'm not going to end up like either one of you two guys.
Good luck with that.
Charging around. No, you don't got to wish me good luck, Randy. I've already won the battle. I've already won. There's no chance. No chance I'm running around the house like you and Brad Ruiter doing chores all day long. Not a chance.
Brad, would you like to take a bet on that?
Yeah, I would like some action on that, please.
Yeah.
Come on over. I'll show you how it's done. We got to go. We'll talk to you, Randy, tomorrow, Brad, on Wednesday.
Okay.
There you go. By the way, stay tuned, and if you have any problems with your health, give us a text message, 651-989-9393, because Dr. P. Jesus is coming up next on the program.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
And now is a great time to join their team. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians, dedicated to improving the work-life balance of their employees by providing benefits that include parental leave and 401k match. Apply today at standardheating.com.
Former Navy SEAL Mike Ritland keeps it real on the Mike Drop podcast.
He's the co-CEO of the All Secure Foundation, which assists special operations and active duty combat vets. Tom Satterley.
Nobody helped you shoot your gun. They trained you how to shoot your weapon. So we're going to train you on the things you've never been trained for, how to come home from war. Everything else that turns people away from it, we try to rebrand it.
Reduce or dismiss the kind of stigma that's associated with it.
You have to.
Mike Drop. Raw. Unfiltered. Intellectually sound. Wherever you listen.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. Before we go any further, Wapple, some listeners texted in with some better ideas for a fantasy wrestling matchup between you and an old pro. You said Kane, for God's sake. Kane poops better than you. Listeners,
I was thinking specifically Isaac Yankem.
Okay, so Isaac Yankum. Better matchups, our listening audience is saying maybe Wapple versus Spike Dudley, Wapple versus Nunzio, or Wapple versus Hornswoggle.
I
like those matchups.
I also saw someone say Wapple versus the Hurricane.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one, too.
That would be fun.
You guys look somewhat similar. Let's haul them on in on the telephone line here. It's 8:26. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. It's our pal, Dr. P. Jesus. Hello, James.
Hey, how you doing, folks?
We're doing well. If you have an issue, folks, in our listening audience, and you'd like Dr. P to try and figure it out for you, text us. 651-989-9393 is the number. So there you go, bro. How you been?
I'm doing all right. I think I've got a little bit of a cold. I didn't figure I should spread that to my friends this morning.
Well, that's
very considerate of you.
I appreciate it.
You're a considerate pal. Yeah, so as we wait for a few texts to come rolling in for you, I was just reading about the latest STD rates by state. You'll be happy to know. I thought at one point or another, Josh, weren't we here in Minnesota leading the charge on STDs?
Yeah, there was like super gonorrhea or something like that. It was one in particular.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe specifically it was super gonorrhea. Maybe this is a couple years ago, but I thought we were really whooping ass when it comes to spreading STDs around here. Well, the current numbers show that we are no longer in the top 10 most STD-infested states in America.
Man.
No, I know.
You got work to do, Ashley.
Yeah, get out there.
Oh, jeez.
Wouldn't that be something? If Ashley was the
patient zero
for that.
If she was the typhoid Mary or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to know,
Ashley.
If you want to know where they're spreading all kinds of stuff, gonorrhea, syphilis, what am I missing? There's all kinds of that stuff out there. Top 10 would be from 10 to 1, North Carolina, New Mexico, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, South Dakota, South Carolina, Alaska, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So it kind of sounds like a lot of wide open spaces.
It does, doesn't it?
Type states, you know what I mean? You know, a lot more rural states, maybe I should say.
Not a lot going on in those states.
Probably not great access to healthcare, I guess. But yeah, that's not good. You don't want to be on that list.
All right, yeah. Number one. Boy, Mississippi is number one in everything that could hurt you.
Yeah, nothing good.
No. I used to spend time down there, and I always thought it was all right. By God, I'm glad I'm free of that area.
Yeah, I'm glad you left unscathed.
Thank you, Cubby.
Doc.
Indeed. Yeah.
A parent has a question about what a normal temperature for a 4-month-old is, or specifically, I guess, how hot of a fever would the 4-month-old have to bring them to the hospital?
Let's see, 4 months. I mean, in the first 3 months of life, you really want to have almost no margin that you feel comfortable with without having a kid looked at. And 4 months is not, obviously it's not much more than that. So I think especially, it's always good if a kid that young, under 6 months, has a fever, you should be talking to your doctor's office. And so basically, what would be a fever? That's a good question. 98.6 is normal. In a kid that age, you probably really do want to be using a rectal thermometer because, ear probes and those sorts of things and all the...
like personally or on the child?
No, on the child.
Okay.
To get an accurate...
You, one for me.
Yeah, if it's really above normal at all, and especially if they seem sick at all, you just want to be talking to the doctor's office. It's just kids that are really little don't have maybe the immune reaction that we do later in life, and so they may not appear sick, even though they are getting sick quickly, and that's always the issue. So again, kids in their first few months of life, you tend to be very aggressive in terms of looking at a fever and taking a look at them. So that's really, it's just past that cutoff. So talking to the pediatrician or family doc's office about it and having them seen if there's any doubt.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you got one of those tiny little babies.
Yeah, it's tough to know what's going on. Obviously, they can't.
It is.
I'll be finding out soon enough. I'll tell you that right
now. It's just about 3 months away.
Yeah.
A guy in his 30s texted in, no known conditions, he says. Sometimes it seems like I've got 2 bladders. I'll take a whiz, feels like I'm done. If I give it 5-10 seconds, My body switches kegs, and I can keep it going. I get that where I switch tanks sometimes if I've been holding it for a long time.
I never switch tanks.
Yeah, you're like pouring out a bucket.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's why.
it is. We've talked about this up and down.
I'm a
but yeah.
fine nozzled pressure washer.
Yes, when I hang it, it's just boom, and it all flies out at once, and I'm done. Cubby switches tanks. Yeah, I know this. We've been urinating hip to hip in this building for 25 years. What would that be about? So 5-10 seconds, the guy says, and then it starts firing again.
Yeah.
Like Frank Drebin from that scene from friggin' Naked Gun, one of the funniest scenes. Yes, Dr. P.
Yeah, I mean, it would not be an accessory bladder. I've never heard of that. Not in humans. Not in humans, right? I mean, it's either, it's basically got to be just some spasm of basically the valves, the sphincters that allow the urine to pass out of the bladder. And that can be, people obviously have sort of the nervous bladder thing, which is your nervous system controlling those sphincters. If you've got, it feels like we talk about the prostate every single time we do this, but the prostate is a faithful friend that can cause all sorts of troubles. So if there's a little bit of prostate irritation, that can lead to it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a sign of anything bad, especially if it's just the way you've operated. But it's, as with everything in the human body, it's amazing that things work as well as they're supposed to most of the time. And the coordination that allows you to relax and pass your urine only when you want to is, there's a lot going on there. But again, if it's changed, if it's getting worse, if there's pain, if there's obviously STD signs like discharge or things like that, it needs to be looked at.
Nice work, Ashley. You got another
yeah,
one.
nice job. You're already making a dent.
You said a minute ago, only urinate when you want to. I know a few older fellas who would tell you to enjoy these days, relish these days where you urinate only when you want to.
That's true. If my wife sneezes, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Look out.
I know a few older boys who they do not know it's coming until it's there already.
Asking for a friend, Jesus wants to know, have you heard of this? A woman going temporarily blind after an orgasm.
Oh. My God.
That is quite an orgasm. Boy, I really have not. No. Boy, I mean, sometimes people get headaches related to orgasm. That's why I'm just sort of wondering if it could be, because sometimes with migraine or atypical migraines, you can actually have visual changes or vision loss. I would think it's.
My God, you banged her blind.
I know. I mean, really, that's.
Yeah, I'm assuming he means her orgasm, because if it was his, that might explain what happened there.
Oh, gee. Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. You're right, Josh. You're right on.
Temporarily blind.
The only thing I can think of really, again, would be sort of almost like an atypical migraine thing. And if you've never had symptoms of that, it's a good thing to be evaluated, because it's essentially considered an exertional migraine or an exertional headache. And that's something that can be of concern.
We have people texting in asking, is that a humble brag? Absolutely.
I mean, it does sound like one for sure.
I didn't even pick up on that. Every time I give my wife mind-blowing multiple orgasms.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Dr. P. Jesus. She is. She can't speak. She can't see. Dr. P. Jesus is on the line with us here on the Half-Assed Morning Show, answering our listening audience health concerns. 651-989-9393 if you want to throw a question to the doctor. Dr. P., a listener says, why would my feet be swollen in the morning? They say they're full of fluid for a few minutes.
Oh.
I don't know if they mean it feels that way or they know for a fact that they're... Why would my feet be swollen in the morning for the first few minutes? That sounds like a bad circulation problem or something to me, and I ain't no doctor.
Yeah, that's unusual. I've just, a lot of people...
Oh, by the way, and his wife goes blind every time he gives her an orgasm. Yeah.
Right.
And she
that
can't hear, and she can't remember where she's from.
Yeah. mean, a lot of people will get dependent edema, is what we would call it, when your legs are, when you're standing or sitting and your legs are hanging down and gravity is affecting that fluid. People will get, people who are on their feet all day or people who have bad circulation issues. But the thing is, when you're in bed and you're flat, that usually gets better overnight for almost everybody.
Is it possible that their legs fell asleep, kind of a thing, and they can't feel their feet until they get moving around?
Yeah, I think you're bringing up a good point. I can't believe that there would be fluid that would be there and then be gone quickly. So I think it has to be a feeling. So presumably it is something where it's a sensation that they're getting in the morning and that just resolves pretty quickly. Again, that's a little weird. That would, you would really, it depends. Did they say how old they are or anything like that?
No, there's no additional information there for you. Sorry, Dr. Piesky.
Yeah. That would be very unusual to have fluid that accumulates in a limb or both legs overnight, and then especially if it goes away quickly.
What do you stick a pin in it and you spray
drain it? Yeah,
you drain.
Put it, tap it. Just put a tap in there.
What did you say? Yeah. What's the fancy word, Dr. P, again, for where you sit in a chair and it kind of makes your legs numb? And what did you say?
Well, when you get swelling, dependent edema, it's basically just dependent on gravity.
Okay, dependent edema?
Edema, yeah, it's swelling.
How you can get a case of that right now? Sit in the chair that Ashley's sitting in for 4 minutes.
It's a very uncomfortable chair.
It cuts off. That chair sucks. I sat in it a couple times last week. It cuts off all of your circulation. Your ass cheeks go numb.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You don't know when you're going to urinate.
Yeah, they're pretty.
That's also a side effect.
Right now, yeah.
When you sit in that chair, you have no idea when you're about to urinate because it cuts off all sensation from your nipples down.
Oh, my.
Yes.
We have another foot question from Mediocre Machinist Jesus. When I walk barefoot at home on hardwood floors or tile, the same two toes on my right foot go numb. Any idea why?
Boy, we need some folks that need to get on a treadmill in our listening audience. Get the blood moving.
Two toes on right foot. Okay. But only barefoot, they said, right? Barefoot?
Only barefoot.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's... and they didn't say which toes by any chance, right? No.
Same two.
Maybe they're the only two.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
could be.
Maybe it's the only two.
I mean, numbness in the feet, we think of neuropathy, but if it's only happening when they're barefoot, to me, that means there's something it's just the pressure of not having any padding between the foot and the floor, especially wood floor. We all have these accessory bones, essentially, in our feet and, honestly, in a variety of places in our body where it's almost like a little floating kneecap. I mean, but it's supposed to be there around your... we have some in our hands sometimes, but definitely down in the feet. Like under the big toe, and those things can get irritated by pressure on a floor from walking. I guess that would be the only thing I can think of, and it's just irritating the nerve that goes to those toes.
He got back to me, Mediocre Machinist Jesus. The next two toes after my big toe.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So
is amputation something that should be considered here?
I mean, we usually like to start with that and then move on to other things. Yeah.
You cut them off, inspect them.
Right, and
then rule out whether they're
these are fine.
No, put it back.
Oh, these are still good toes, but it's a little too late. Thanks for stopping by.
The other thing that could be is a thing called a Morton's neuroma, which I know it sounds like I just make this stuff up, doesn't it?
No, you sound like an educated man. Morton's,
a Morton's neuroma is basically like a little swelling of the nerve down between the bones of the foot that I'm not even sure if I know really why they form. Some people just seem to get them. But if the foot bones compress in a certain way, it can cause numbness or pain. And that could very well be what's going on, especially in that part of the foot, if it's the second and third toes. So that's the kind of thing that it often can be replicated by physical exam, either with primary care or a podiatrist. And if it's really annoying somebody, there are surgeries to basically remove this irritated nerve bit that or injections can be done prior to surgery.
That's interesting.
And well before amputation, yes.
You know how it goes here on the program. Cubby knows this. When Dr. P comes on and we start fielding questions from listeners, which is wonderful, via our text machine, 651-989-9393. If one person texts in, say, about their penis, everybody texts in about their penis, right? It just starts, like the ball starts rolling. I'm not trying to be cute with that. What the overwhelming theme so far this morning is that no one in our listening audience has any sensation left in any of their limbs. We've got toes and feet. What else do we cover so far? Anyway, more problems here with sensation, and this one's a little different. A man in our listening audience says he has no sensation of when he's going to orgasm.
Whoa, that would be so dangerous.
In line at the DMV or something like that.
Right.
He mentions a drug he's taking, and he wants to know, could this be the cause? I don't know. I've heard this said out loud before. Propecia?
So Propecia is basically, finasteride, finasteride? Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it's spelled, but it can be used for hair loss, so it's the medicine that you take to prevents hair loss, and it actually can help hair regrow somewhat.
Okay.
It is also used to treat enlarged prostate. It can cause some sexual symptoms. It essentially blocks testosterone's effect on different parts of the body, including the hair follicles, because that's part of what, for men with male pattern balding, it's the effect of testosterone on the hair follicles that tends to make them just say, "Oh, I'm done." And but testosterone also affects the prostate in terms of causing it to enlarge. And so, it could be that. I guess I'm not quite no sensation that he is going to orgasm.
The way he puts it, no sensation of orgasm. So, I mean, it was a misprint, you know.
Okay.
That
makes more sense. Okay, so he basically has a decreased sense of orgasm. I mean, I can't imagine having an orgasm, come out of the blue. That is very much like a Saturday Night Live skit or something, right?
Can you imagine? I mean, oh, God, honey, hang on, I'm gonna... And then she says, yeah, you already did.
Right.
And now, I need a new sweater.
You did in the car on the way here.
Yeah.
Right, but yes, I would say that
now I need a new couch.
That is a possibility, so that's a good thing to talk to. Oh, jeez, right. Isn't there? There's a Lonely Island video where there's something happens in your pants. Yeah, I can't say that word. I don't think.
What's the matter with you?
No, I won't. But,
we don't talk about Lonely Island on this program. What is that? What's Lonely Island?
Television
show.
Andy Samberg and
D in the box
characters.
Oh, I got you.
That's Lonely Island, right? D in the box.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I think that is a good possibility.
Oh boy, that's interesting. When you don't even know what's happening down there.
Might have to kiss the hair goodbye.
What would you guys rather have? All your hair back, or to have the sensation of a wonderful orgasm?
I think I'm fine being bald. That's the choice.
Dr. P. Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, that's right. Our guest this morning on the telephone line is Dr. James Parnell, Dr. P. Jesus. He's a real doctor, and he gives real advice to our terrific listeners. Now, before we get back to questions from the brother and sisterhood, who are not well, I might add, I was just reading an article titled, "What's the Weirdest Thing a Doctor Has Ever Said to You?" Now, this had to have been a joke. Maybe you can tell us, do you make a lot of jokes at times to try to loosen folks up at the doctor's office? Listen to this. What's the weirdest thing a doctor has ever said to you? A nurse was putting an IV into somebody's arm. Are you following this, everybody?
Yes.
And the nurse said to the patient, "Don't worry, I used to be a heroin addict, so I'm good at this."
That's alarming.
Oh, I could see something like that. I could see them joking around like that. I used to have my blood drawn quite a bit when I was first going through, epilepsy treatment. And
sure.
And I had one lady say, "Oh, not bad for my first time." I had somebody else make the similar joke, like, "I've never done this before." So We're gonna do this together. So I could see somebody making a joke.
That is cute. Yeah. Did you jump just a little bit when they mentioned the first time?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Jesus. And one more here. One more. And or do you have any jokes you've told patients over the years, Dr. P?
Oh man, not really. I don't think. Certainly not like that. So you got to be well. If you really knew a patient well, I suppose you could get away with that. But otherwise, you're kind of risking your reputation and job. Well,
I had a urologist with two things. When he checked the front, first he told me to drop my drawers because he's going to check the family jewels.
Hell yeah, he was.
And then when he checked the prostate, he said, "Hey, look, small fingers, but trust me, this is going to be worse for me than it is for you."
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, those are probably okay.
My favorite cubby at the doctor's office story, though, is when you masturbated for your doctor.
Yeah, well, it was a whole crowd.
Wait a minute.
I masturbated for a crowd.
You offered yourself to be masturbated by your doctor.
Oh, that part is a true story.
Yes.
Man. Okay, I haven't heard this one before.
Tell that one. That's the greatest of all time.
Well, we don't use the word masturbate in this particular story, but it's kind of gross.
Well, it's hilarious, though. And I think a lot of people can relate to it because you're nervous when you're at the doctor. You're not thinking straight sometimes.
Okay, well, this is gross, all right? I don't know how else to phrase it, but I'll tell you exactly what he said. He wanted me to milk my gear, right?
Yes.
You understand?
Milk it for me.
Yeah, just to see if there's anything that shouldn't be there.
Right.
And he said, all right, we're going to milk this thing. And so I just kind of thrust toward him. I thought he meant he was going to. I didn't know. Like, I'm at the doctor's office. And he's like, no, you do it. He got mad.
Oh,
That's not your fault, Josh.
Was it after a prostate exam or something?
I don't fully remember the order of operations there, but
you kind of pointed it at him and said, "Go ahead, son."
All right, I guess I was uncomfortable.
That is awesome.
You're the professional.
No, not me, you dirty bastard. You're going to do it.
He blew up at me.
I love it. One more real quick, and then we got time for another question or two.
Sure.
One more of these weirdest things a doctor has ever said to you. So someone goes to the doctor. They thought they had the flu. The doctor checks them out. And then comes back into the room. He leaves the room, comes back into the room eating a bowl of cereal. Number one, the doctor is eating a bowl of cereal. That's odd in itself, but that's not the oddest part of the story. The doctor says, do you know what AIDS is? It's a virus and there's no cure. But you have a different virus that's much more treatable.
Why? Why would you start like that?
Boy.
So you've never, what about as a patient, Dr. P?
I mean, I've certainly never experienced anything like that. No, you got to remember, doctors are people, and they may be smart people, but it doesn't mean they're always wise.
Man, I would jump.
That's pretty insane.
I would jump right out of my chair.
That sounds. What was the? Oh, was it? Boy, there's a couple TV shows that that's the kind of lines that they would deliver. Silicon Valley. There was a doctor in the urgent care on that one who always said stuff like that.
That guy was great.
Well, I love the doctor from Family Guy.
Yeah.
How he always his wording leads them to believe that they're dead.
Yeah,
and then he comes back to
right.
Right. That one long bit. I wish I don't have, one of my computers died, so I don't have access to it. But the one long bit where the Peter's getting his diagnosis.
Oh yeah,
and it just keeps going on and on and on and on.
And Lois, I think, actually says,
she freaked out.
We can't take any more shtick. All right.
Here's a question from someone with a 17-year-old daughter who's been living with migraines daily lately. She's going in next Thursday to do a sleep study, but should there be more of a concern until then? Daily migraines, and they said lately, so maybe they mean just as of recently.
And they don't mention anything about previous workup or anything. Usually, so they're doing a sleep study. They're looking for sleep apnea as a cause of headaches, which is something that can do it. I would think they would have done some imaging, probably. I mean, typically, if you're really worried about a headache pattern, you're going to have some imaging of your brain just to make sure that there's not anything bad going on. It usually isn't, but the only way to know is to check. So, that would be part of a workup, in my opinion, for sure. And I mean, if they're having a sleep study, that means that, they were referred to the sleep clinic. Hopefully they're seeing a neurologist at this point if they're having that severe migraines. Young women, if they're on estrogen-containing birth control pills, that can be a no-no when you have migraines like that. So, hopefully somebody's looking at this big picture and saying, okay, here are things that we need to do to look at it. Here are things we need to avoid, like birth control pills that contain estrogen. Yeah.
Boy, migraine headaches sound like...
Yeah.
I'm lucky I've never had one.
Terrible
They're
thing.
absolutely awful.
Yeah, they can be unbelievably debilitating. And I think it's, there's so many things that until you've experienced it yourself, it's hard to put yourself in someone's place. I think back pain is one of those.
Yeah, right.
Somebody who you're like, what's the big deal? But if you have an acute episode of back pain, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever doubted anybody.
Yeah, and in a lot of cases, you just kind of haul that around for the rest of your damn life.
Yeah, you can, and migraines can be a real bummer. But there's lots of ways to control migraines these days. It is certainly not. It's very unusual for it to not be reined in, but it can take some work.
I'd rather throw up all day for 24 hours just nonstop than have a migraine for an hour.
It can be bad. I mean, when I was a kid, my brother had really bad migraines, and I can tell you this much: I thought it was hilarious. But that was when I was a kid. I learned that it's not the. I enjoyed watching him be uncomfortable when we were young.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I did. I had a good time with it.
Blackbird Jesus said he had shingles on his face mid-August. He's 33. He still gets a nice jolt of pain in his ear the first bite of food at every meal. Is that permanent?
He said, when did he have it again?
August.
Okay, so we're just in October. No, I would hope that would resolve over time. But shingles, the discomfort associated with it can go on for quite a while. Certainly weeks, but months. If it is on the face, okay, so they would have. Hopefully, when it's on your face, there's concerns that it can be in your eye. So that's the thing. When people have shingles of the face, it really is important to be seen by an eye doctor. And if there's any concern that it involves the ear, the nerves in the ear also, because you really need to be treated aggressively. It's hopefully all those things happen. He took antivirals, possibly some steroid medicine. But yeah, it should hopefully go away. There's a small possibility, I guess, that it could be a residual thing, but at this point, I would hope that it will just slowly resolve.
That would be nice.
Shingles is a bummer. I mean, it's just to remind people, it's the recurrence of the chickenpox virus that stays in us. The interesting part in the bigger picture is that when most of you in the studio there, well, maybe not most, some of you in the studio, and when I was a kid, we got chickenpox. That was what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I got it a couple times, actually.
My brother got chickenpox when we were kids, and it was funny.
It sort of goes with that theme of him suffering. Yeah.
Yes, and the humor it brings to your life.
Right.
Wait,
but,
so everyone on the program has had chickenpox?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, because for the last 20-plus years, all kids have gotten vaccines and for chickenpox, and it's still not totally clear to me what the likelihood of shingles is after the vaccine, because you get basically a version of the virus that's basically dead. So it doesn't seem like people should get shingles later, but it'll be an emerging thing to see how that goes. So hopefully shingles will become less of a problem, and there's also vaccines for older folks to prevent.
Did I ever tell you guys about when my brother got in a terrible car accident?
Oh man!
We had a good time with that. We had a good time. We almost didn't get out of that one. That was good. What time is it, Josh?
It's time to go. We're late.
Oh man!
Real quick, Dr. P, a listener says, I just had a heart scan. The calcification score was 604. What should I know about that? Did I win?
The goal is it's like golf. You don't want a high score. So that the basically the calcification or calcium score with the CT scan is looking at calcium deposits in the coronary arteries. And so if you've got a high number, you are at risk for, having narrowing.
So a 604, that's a high score?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I mean, yes. They basically will tell you if you're in a concerning level or not. And usually, the treatment's going to involve being on cholesterol-lowering medication and probably having some further evaluation. Sometimes that can be an indication of sort of an inherited cholesterol problem, like genetic, basically. But yeah.
Well, that's really concerning, but we got to go.
Right, exactly.
Sorry about your troubles, but we got to go. Dr. P, thanks very much. It's always fun.
It is indeed, and I do feel a bit bad for your brother, but I never met him.
No, he's doing all right.
He's fine.
Hopefully you feel better, Dr. P.
Yeah, no.
We miss your face.
I'm not feeling bad. I will. Just didn't want to spread it.
We miss your beautiful face.
That is very nice of you.
Little cute gray goatee.
Yeah, adorable.
And it's kind of like Josh always describes your hair as like a fifth grade haircut.
Oh man,
like a really bad fifth grade
like
haircut.
a really bad mom combed your hair last minute before the school picture.
The kid's teased just relentlessly. Goes on. He has problems later in life because of it. That's the kind of hair you got.
I probably should pay more than $15 for a haircut for my hair.
You didn't pay $15 for your last haircut. I guarantee you that. Jesus Christ.
No.
What a ripoff. No, thanks, Dr. P. We always love having you on.
All right. Talk to you soon.
So long,
Take
sucker.
care, buddy. FXTGs is sending a shout out to his beautiful new bride, Rachel. They got married on Saturday. And happy belated birthday to Lee from his girlfriend, Sierra.
We announced it around 8 this morning, but if you missed it, the Foo Fighters are coming to Target Field Sunday, July 28th with the Pretenders and L7.
The friggin' Pretenders, Wapple.
The Pretenders.
Your dad probably wants to go to the show.
Yeah, he actually would.
Would he?
Yeah. Tickets go on sale if you want to buy them on Friday at 10 a.m. Listen to 93X all day for your shot to win tickets to the show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is currently hiring experienced and entry-level HVAC technicians. Apply today at standardheating.com.